it's second with Dungeon of the Mad Mage. By the way, side note to notice that no reference to I did skim through for this because I was curious. No reference to Hallister Blackcoke or Undermountain. I'm kind
Oh,
of
wow.
little. That might just be me, but I'm a little peeved at that considering how much Waterdeep stuff has in the had in the setting.
Yeah, it definitely, I don't know, like, something's changed and the excitement seems like it's a bit gone. Even with this new edition that's coming out, like, the rollout for this stuff has felt very much like low key, like, here's our next thing, and I don't know. I'm not sure exactly, what's going on. Maybe there's a lot of, I don't know, stuff in the works that eventually will turn into some big type of event thing. But yeah, right now, shit is very quiet.
There has been some changes, and I guess the big test after this we'll see seeing how they do the new edition and what kind of campaign books or splat books they start with it. But it's definitely we're back in the lull for D&D compared to the high we kind of got in 2014, 2015, 16 with 5e. It's kind of gone back in the valley into the lull that was kind of between 3.5 and 5.
Yeah, but it's like 10 years since 5e came out. It's the 50th anniversary. They should be throwing out all the stops.
Oh yeah, that's what I would think.
Oh yeah, you're right. That it is the. Oh dang. Yeah, that's right. Huh. Well, yeah, I don't know.
That's essentially what the Vecna book is. It's their 50th anniversary thing.
I don't know. We could sit here and speculate, but like, unless you're a fly on that wall, there's no real.
But you know what? I'm going to speculate on too. I think part of it, and I could be wrong, but part of it could be brain drain. It could be that, there is trouble bringing up, I guess, fresh and new ideas. Because look at 5th edition. They went through all of the classic stuff, right? Curse of Strahd, Acererak, Undermountain, the Underdark
Portal book.
Yawning Portal
book that was pulled back to several different things.
They even brought out Spelljammer and Shadow, and
so for a whole new edition, what content are they going to bring to the table? It's like you've already ran through all of this content that everybody knows about. Are you really going to just republish another, I don't know, Curse of Strahd just with updated rules? No. Especially since this new edition is supposed to be even more backwards compatible with, with 5th edition. And so, like, what's going to happen?
Who knows?
Well, they've got like the Tales of the Infinite Staircase, which is like an update of a bunch of old school modules. They're bringing back a bunch of Greyhawk stuff in the new books.
True, and that's what I was thinking too. Maybe that's why they switched to Greyhawk, being, I guess, the base campaign environment or scene instead of Faerun, in order to maybe pull from that content different adventures and things of that nature. But to be honest, Greyhawk is kind of boring to me. It feels like the the Bud Light. Like if Faerun is like Budweiser, and it feels like Greyhawk is kind of the Bud Light. And I understand why they didn't start with, I guess, Eberron in this new edition. I'm not sure the licensing stuff with that, because there was issues with them like coming out with that campaign setting book for 5th edition. But I feel like
they'd have to renegotiate with the owner, and they've not always. Him and them have not always been in favorable terms.
And they've got some. And he's put out some extremely good supplement hardcovers through DM's Guild.
I think that's also the other thing, actually, because again, in the last like year, 2 years, like through crowdfunding and stuff, we've seen, like, we're playing one now. We have seen a lot of third-party content that's just better.
And they're opening the door now to more third-party content. So, like, maybe, all speculation, maybe WotC wants to play more of a, like, behind the doors, background role to the content.
I think that was kind of the idea when they were doing the whole changes nonsense to try that. But it's if you want to just create the sandbox for people to, or the building blocks for people to build stuff with, that is technically a model.
Well, the thing is, I think right now is they're finding a much more lucrative way around that. It's like before the OGL, they're like trying to get a bigger piece of the licensing pie, but instead they're opening up their D&D Beyond interface to third-party content where they can siphon that easier.
Yeah. So, yep, they're open that to third-party content, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do that for their tabletop that they're looking to go ahead and drop. So I don't know, but we gonna see.
RPG space is in an interesting time.
Yes, but anyway, so yeah, welcome to the stream. Anybody who's watching, yeah, we'll note that we don't have our avatars at the bottom. There's something up with OBS. I'm gonna have to fix that for next time. But of course you'll hear all of our beautiful voices, and you'll be able to see icons and all the normal stuff and blah blah blah. And I'll go ahead and fix that on another time slot. But we're gonna go ahead, I guess, and hop into it here. So this session, we've been like I said, we've been grinding Drakkenheim for the past 13 sessions. You guys have gotten a lot done since then. Arriving, meeting like all of the major players, even some side threads and characters, hints at certain events, learning about the history, and of course your first foray into Drakkenheim. So this session is kind of taking all of this background stuff and seeing what you guys now we're going to go ahead and do with it. There isn't a pending item on the hero's agenda here, but there's a lot of things that you guys can, of course, get into. So as far as a recap is concerned, I'm going to go ahead and forgo that because we all know what happened last time. You guys have been trapped in these ruined tenements in Drakkenheim while the haze swirls outside from that strange earthquake that came from something. The Hooded Lanterns maybe suggested it was some kind of worm, per se. And you guys have spent a lot of time trying to just survive, find an area inside of these tenements and secure yourselves, and running across all of the strange diabolical magic that comes along with this haze. And that's just latent in Drakkenheim in general. So we're going to start with a scene with Kolabati here. We're going to go way back. Not way back, actually. Actually, we're going to go back just a few years. So I want to start with that, and then we're going to go ahead and hop into what happened after the ruins in the haze in Drakkenheim. So, are you ready, Mr. Carl?
Yeah.
Kolabati. All right, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to switch to the world map for this one. There we go. And let's go ahead and do this here. All right. So we're going to focus our attention way on this map, way up in the northwest corner here, in this place called the Isles of Skye. So, let's talk about Eladria and Kolabati's decades-long stay at this ancient citadel. The Isles of Skye gets its name from the staggering peaks that rise out of the dark, cold ocean and careens towards misty air currents thousands of feet above, giving the impression colossal granite tendrils are kind of cutting through the sky. Though these peaks don't cover the entire island, the surrounding landmass has been kind of dragged upward over the eons, making most of the landmass sit thousands of feet above sea level. More hundreds, actually, we'll say. Surrounding the peaks are ancient forest ecosystems, and surrounding these forests are rolling windswept fields and deep freshwater lakes that typically dead end at towering cliffs that drop hundreds of feet to the ocean. Several surrounding islands share this geography. These natural cliffs makes up the majority of the shoreline of Skye, making it easy to defend and hard to go ahead and invade. Give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. Go ahead and give us an image. So it's no wonder the elven city of Eladria has persisted for so long here. Historical records, now lost in the ruins of Drakkenheim, tell tales of Sorcerer Queen Castellaria being repulsed, her army at least, being repulsed several times before they finally made landfall and sacked Eladria, but at extraordinary cost, nearly bankrupting her kingdom. This event happening thousands of years ago, of course. Let's go here. Another image for you guys. Inland, on the Isles of Skye, the peaks of Skye create its own kind of weather system, mixing warm currents from the south with the cold from the north, and dumping near endless rain on the peaks, which then run into two large elevated lakes in the interior of the island. Clouds of mist obscure the peaks year-round and hides the sun from the island most days out of the year. In the warm season, Skye is constantly damp and plagued by tempestuous storms, while in the winter, the few harbors and lakes become slushy with ice and cold winds sweep across these lands. The city of Eladria sits at the edge of the island's northern lake. It's an ancient place, continuously inhabited over 5,000 years. And travelers who see it for the first time report feeling the immensity of history here. Technically, Eladria is a collection of citadels that sit at the edge of the island's northern lake. Each of these citadels are built into mountainous pillars of eroded granite that runs from the mountain range to the west to the edges of this freshwater lake. Ancient elven arcanists and architects terraformed and reinforced these natural pillars with long-forgotten magic. Each pillar is hollowed out with countless communal spaces occupied by generations of elves. Massive harbors sit in hollowed-out areas at the base of these pillars. During the warm season, constant deluges of rain creates thunderous waterfalls that pour into the lakes below. In winter, wind howls through these structures, and ice sheets go ahead and cap the rooftops. I'm thinking of something kind of like this here. The realm's only officially known Elfgate is out toward the center of this lake, submerged in hundreds of feet of water. In Kolabadi, you know the ruins of the Elf Gate is in a chamber deep in this submerged pillar. Powerful abjuration magic has kept it dry as long as anyone can remember. Once every few decades, a dry spell hits the island, and the volume of the lake falls enough for access to the gate by non-magical means. Although, it is still risky. We're talking about something that kind of looks like this. In this memory, Kolabadi, you find yourself in one of these citadels. The older ones are closer to the lake's edge, and more modern ones constructed closer to the mountain range to the west. These were built after the initial destruction of Eladria. Visitors from the mainland are generally barred from your location, unless they live here and hold some special position, like yourself, or have been granted access by authorities for some unique reason. At this time, you are still an apprentice of the Shadar Kai Covenant. I'm going to mess this up so much. Covenant. Is it Covenant? Convent.
The gloaming convent of the Shadar Kai.
Convent. There we go. And for context, the Shadar Kai are elven mystics dedicated to the ancient tradition of collecting memories of past elves and sifting through them to construct a tapestry of elven history and experiences. The belief is one day the collective memory will reveal a deeper purpose for these displaced people, a purpose designed by the old gods who may have led them here. A century could pass before a new apprentice is taken on by the convent. It takes decades of study and practice in the ancient necromantic rituals to even be considered for membership of the Shadar Kai. It's taken very seriously. Becoming a full Shadar Kai is a prestigious position, though, and Queen Genevieve, Autumnfall of Eladria, often consults the leader of this convent by the name of Exalted Mother Anika Rose. There are only a handful of the Shadar Kai members, and Kolabati, you know each one of them by name. Let's see. Show this image to you guys. Nearly a half a century ago, you were assigned to this old citadel that functions as an archive. Here, Kolabati, you've been honing Shadar Kai rituals and interfacing with souls, filling in the gaps of the collective memory and transcribing key events into this archive. You took up residence in this large study that we see here at the top of one of these natural pillars. You replaced the last Shadar Kai that worked here. They probably transitioned to the Shadowlands and now steward souls to the afterlife for an eternity. Maybe at some point their soul will be bound to a willing convent member. You know the convent's exalted mother, Anika Rouse, is possessed by no less than a dozen of these prior members, spanning back several centuries. The skeleton crew of Shadar Kai has made it difficult to keep up with these impressive archives, and they have slowly slid into ruin over the eons. The chambers deep within the natural pillars are secure, but their upper stories barely retain their original splendor when the Shadar Kai had far larger numbers to maintain these structures. Numerous floors and chambers under your study are filled with what the convent calls quote-unquote links, which are totems once owned by deceased elves. These totems have been collected for generations. They come from the famous and infamous, the wealthy and poor, the powerful and meek. Each link is an item that shares a strong connection with the original owner and can be used to bring their spirit into focus and explore their most persistent memories and even converse with them. So it's 2 years before you headed to Drakkenheim, and a month before you completed the gloaming ritual, officially indoctrinating you into the convent. On this day, you have a visitor.
As I look up from my studies and see who approaches.
You see this lady here. She arrived unannounced, as she typically does, and she seats herself on an old bench near a clutter of these links you've dredged up from the catacombs below. And she carries with her a large scroll case. But she wastes no time. She says to you, "You know, in all this time here, I can count the number of times you've had visitors. All on one hand.
It has been a while since the last pilgrimage my family usually escorts.
Speaking of such, your blood usually doesn't even come to see you. Which is particular, considering Countessa de Apcher visited me 3 times in 1 year from Westamar to make sure that the convent would consider you."
I've had a handful of letters, but I do not know why they don't come. I know my mother and father always enjoyed their visits here, for what I've been told.
She just blinks. She goes, "Maybe they're busy working networks across the continent. Something that's no concern to us, right?"
Of course.
She leans back in the bench. She goes, "I almost told your mother no. Considering I know a bribe when I see one. And there's nothing to do here with coin anyway." An obvious sign that your mother knew nothing about us, and I assumed you didn't either. And this was some political move. She stares at you with a small smile on her face. This is kind of maybe her wry humor.
Well, my mother was never one for books and history.
I guess you got all of that from your father.
Golavati will just nod while running her hands along some of the books on her lectern.
But I must say, I'm glad I didn't say no. And I hope in another 50 years, I can say the same. But speaking of guests, you're about to have a lot more as your initiation day gets closer. Eladrians, elves from Diaspora, foreigners will bring potential links to you for consideration. As you know, during the ritual, you must be surrounded by these totems. And you must bind to at least 3 of them. Which means experiencing their most potent memories, including their deaths, in totality. I'm sure you'll have enough time to come to terms with that.
Well, we'll have decades to experience what they have to do to let me know.
She nods. Until then, expect to have several meetings from people begging you to consider adding their totem to the ritual for consideration. She opens the scroll case she has, and you see she fumbles in it and takes out what looks to be 3 pieces of parchment. And there are 3 visitors for you here today.
Great.
She nods. One of which is the queen herself. She gives you a tight smile, no pressure. Here's a description of the totem, the link she wishes to show you and consider. You see she puts the paper on your desk and slides it over to you.
Draw it closer and take a look.
You see that there is a rough drawing of what looks to be a ring. The description that's listed there says that it is set in gold, and there is a unique lavender octarine crystal that is mounted or sits inside of it. While you're looking at that, she continues talking. And then there is an elf from Westamar that claims to have worked for your family, just outside of the Elvenmire. And then she puts that page on the table. And on it, there's no drawing. There's just a simple sentence that says, "a lock of hair." And finally, she puts the other page on the table. The daughter of Duke von Batten, Lady Ravona, sailed her own ship all the way here to see you. I guess the Civil War wasn't enough to keep them busy. On this one, you see that there is what looks to be a pretty well-drawn depiction of what looks to be a blade of some sort. Maybe a short sword. It looks quite archaic. The description of it is that the blade is made of jade. There are elven ruins on it, which looks to be some type of chant to battle. But that's it. Anika says, "You can speak to any of these people in any order you wish. Will maybe take a day for us to put together their arrival anyway, especially the Queen."
Well, we would be at the beck and call of the Queen, of course. She can make her own schedule.
Our Queen, Miss Autumnfall, she is humble. She would respect your time. But just let me know who you want to speak with first, and I can make arrangements.
Well, this one here, she slides the one from the Elvenmire. What family did this one come from?
She looks at it, and her eyes, she goes, "He referred to himself as Anar Manel."
It would be nice to speak with someone from home. I'll speak to them first.
Very well. Those are yours to keep. You see she plugs the scroll case, and she gets up and she goes, "I'll let you know when he's on the way."
Thank you, Mother Anika.
Of course. And she leaves you to your study. The day passes by without any further interruptions. You finish your studies, take yourself to sleep or into your trance. And then the next day begins. And bright and early, you see, once again, Annika at your door. She gives you a knowing look. 20 minutes.
I'll give her a bow and make sure things are presentable for receiving guests.
You do your best, but the place is a clutter. It's a mess. There's cobwebs and stuff everywhere. Some holes and whatnot in the walls that you maybe fenced up. But you find a chair that you pull up to your desk, and you sit down and wait. And after a moment, you hear the footsteps of someone coming up to your study.
Stand to greet them when they arrive.
Aranor, excuse me. That's not Arnar, but Aranor. That's the guy. Ku goes, oh. You see this man walks in. Looks humble. He is kind of taking up his surroundings as he walks in, and then his eyes meet yours, and he gives you a deep bow.
I'll give him a curtsy and then gesture towards the chair opposite.
You see he looks a bit uncomfortable, but he comes over and he takes a seat. You see he sits up straight and he takes off a bag that he has on his shoulders and sets it down. Thank you for giving me the time. I really appreciate it.
Saw from your missive that you're from the Elvenmire.
Yes. Your family estate. I knew your father more than your mother, and I only recall seeing you when you were really, really young, and then you were gone, and so were the other children. But anytime there was a guide needed here to Eladria, or just the Isles of Skye in general, your father was impressed with my navigation skills and the swiftness I was able to go ahead and bring people to the Isles. And he would go ahead and generally call me first. So that's what I did, along with some of the others that live deeper inside of the swamps. And of course, you're all speaking in Elven here.
Kolobati will smile at him and adjust her glasses a little. When was your last pilgrimage? It's been some time since I've seen the family crest come through.
He sighs heavily, and you see it's like he's going through a bunch of memories. It's been quite a while, mainly because I've been distracted with love. And that's kind of why I'm here. About 10 or so years ago, I met the most amazing woman in the most extraordinary circumstances. I was actually coming back from my last expedition here, and you see he furrows his eyebrows like he's thinking deep. He goes, I heard noises in the woods. They didn't sound like a threat. Sound like someone lost. I assumed it was probably someone from Drakkenheim or somewhere close, lost in the woods. And when I approach, I saw her. She was a mess at that time. confused about where she was going, even who she was. I asked her where she came from, if she ever been home before, and it seemed like she didn't know what I was talking about. Actually, I started in Elven, and she didn't know that. I had to teach her. I took her back home and hoped that some food and some sleep would bring some memories back. And maybe I can understand what happened. But, that started a lot of things. Long story short, she didn't seem to have a home. Or the home that she talked about wasn't a home, but more of a prison. She mentioned that she's spent a lot of time in a place called the Inscrutable Tower. She was so afraid to tell me more. I don't know. Many times she said she didn't remember, but I'm not sure I believed her. Things got more complicated after that. We lived together for some time, got to know each other. Smartest person that I know. I mean, it would take humans, who knows, 20, 30 years, maybe a lifetime to learn Elvish, especially as an adult, but she picked it up like that in a matter of a year. I know some basic incantations that helps me navigate the continent. I showed her that, and she picked it up in a few days. I would read some books to her, but eventually I found out she read them all before I can get to them. But eventually we had our first child, my son. And then she disappeared. But she came back. When I say disappeared, I mean she went to Drakkenheim. She said that she was going to go ahead and pick up some supplies, stuff that we couldn't get out in the Elvenmire. She didn't come back. I looked everywhere. I went to the tower myself. They wouldn't let me in, and they assured me that no elf of the description that I gave them was ever there. He gives you like a dubious look. They could have been lying.
The Academy does trade in secrets.
I thought... You see, he rubs his temples. It almost felt like a fever dream, the whole experience. Like, was it even real? I mean, my heart was broken. But a few months later, she returned.
Did you say where she'd been?
He thinks long and hard, and then he takes out some notes and begins looking at them.
Monty will pour a glass of water for him while he checks his notes.
He gives you a nod, and he drinks some of it, and he goes, one important thing is, this wasn't too long after we had our son, she was with child again. Part of the reason I was even more frantic to find her. But like I said, she returned on her own accord, but this time with some others. A chubby man. Human. Bald. Pale. He had some others with him. And I can tell he was mage-born, but I wasn't sure if he was with the academy or not, considering the way he dressed.
How was he dressed?
Black robes at that time. Not too many trinkets on him. If it wasn't for a book he was carrying, I would assumed he was some vagabond. But to fast forward with things, when he returned, he came with my wife. He explained to me that he was working with the academy in some capacity, and that my wife was his ward, that escaped, I guess, long ago. That technically she belonged to him. You can only imagine how angry that made me.
Very much so. It's usually not right for someone to own someone else.
My wife, she was very meek. Almost like she was afraid to speak up and say something for herself. You see that he seems to want to skip over a lot of stuff, and he goes, he left. And our relationship was never the same. My wife and I, that is. Do you know in history and the spirits that you speak with, there being any history of strange births? Like,
how strange. There are many tales of various kinds of odd births, odd couplings.
like two elves or humans creating some other type of creature. I know it sounds stupid.
there are legends of strange offspring, but usually there would be a third party involved.
That's what I thought too. My daughters were born several months later. But they look nothing like me, or you, or us.
I was leaning on her desk and leaning a little closer.
I know your first assumption is, well, maybe my wife was seeing this other man in black who arrived. Both of my daughters look nothing like him either.
In what way are they different?
They have tiefling features. Those who are with the church would say that they're fiendish, born with some curse.
The church would say that. But
me and my wife, we argued about this. You only can imagine. Days, weeks, months. Arnar was old enough to hear some of it, but the twins not so much. It was bad. Very bad. I tried to push her to tell me what happened. Where did she go? Where did she come from? She said she didn't remember. I didn't believe it.
Well, you said that she readily learned languages and easily picked up magic.
He nods.
So she was mage-born.
Well, mage-born in some way. It's just a matter of bringing it out. But she was better than most. Anyone I seen at picking up these incantations, bringing it out of herself. She was a savant, I guess is the word I would use. I asked her about this man in the tower in Drakkenheim, and it would just drive her to tears. I felt so mad at her, but also guilty, because I can tell something haunted her that maybe she didn't have the words to describe. Whatever they did to her. You see, he looks mad for a second, he goes, whatever they did to my daughters. But then he puts his hands in his head and goes, but what if they're not my children?
Said she was pregnant before she disappeared.
I know. We knew she was. But there was times where I wasn't with her. Maybe she went back to the tower. Maybe she found this man in black and he did something to her, and then she didn't want me to know, so she told me it was our child. But I told her this, and she flat out rejected it, and then I told her, then what? What is it? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting off point here. There was one thing that she did keep with her, that was on her when we first met out in the woods. A locket. I know I've breached her trust in taking this, but I don't know what else to do. The church came. I called them. I, at the time, thought that maybe they could help.
Why did you think that the church could help?
My daughters had powers since they were very young. They would talk in their sleep. Not normal speech, some other language that I don't recognize. Like they were trapped in some dream. And one day, they both had something that they said was given to them by something else, some other creature, some force. I thought maybe it was the divine light calling them. That makes sense, right?
The mainland faith can seem that way, but here on the Isles, where the old gods still hold sway.
I know. You see, he reaches in his side and he goes, she still has the locket, but inside was this. And you see he has a small, what looks to be like maybe cheesecloth that he unwraps. You see it's a small locket of hair.
So reach out for the parcel. Do you know where this hair came from?
No. I may have an idea, though. There's been a few times where she mentioned that there was someone else like her. And they still may be with that man in black. All I'm asking is, maybe this person is dead. An elf that's gone on to the Shadowlands. I don't know, maybe it's not the church. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's the old gods and I've just been ignoring it the whole time. But if she has passed, maybe she'll speak to you.
And she may have the secrets of your wife?
He nods. And why I'm an elf with 2 tiefling daughters.
Monty will just like be looking over the rim of her glasses at him. They may be tieflings, but they are still your daughters.
I know this, of course. I just don't know what this spells for their future. What if the academy or this person in black comes for them? What if my wife disappears again? What if there's something else? I know they wonder. I know it bothers them. And I know it bothers my wife. It hurts us all. And my son. I'm desperate. I don't know who to turn to. Where to look for answers at this point.
Leave this with me, and I will see if the owner of this has passed on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I must go. It's been a month now since I've been gone from home.
And on your return, she'll slide over an envelope with a wax stamp on it. Please drop that off at the Diapshe Manor.
Diapshe Manor. Yes, of course. You have my word.
Thank you.
You see he does a double take and he looks behind you. He goes, huh. A blood tree. And you look back in the clutter and stuff that's sitting everywhere. You know that this globe, you look, it's not one of these links or totems. It's probably left from the last person who was here. I'm pretty sure my daughters would love to have something like that.
Kolobati will smile and reach over and take it off the shelf. Then please, give this to your daughters.
Thank you. He gets up. You see he looks around and he gives you a deep bow. And then he leaves. And with that bit of information, is there anything else you want to ask this guy before he goes?
Before he leaves, is like, with all your queries about about tieflings amongst the populace, remember, during the reign of the Arcane Empire, many Arcanists dabbled in diablerie, and some of their children would be tieflings, and sometimes they would skip multiple generations. It's quite possible that's the case here. It may not have anything to do with your wife.
You see he seems to think about it, but you see he seems to be unsure. I will take that into consideration. And then he goes about his way. And with that, we'll maybe get back to those other two visitors another day. The party, all of you, right now, today, fast forwarding. You find yourselves walking down a dusty dirt road away from Drakkenheim. The sun is setting in the sky about this time. If you glance back over your shoulder, you can see it's still smoldering with this haze and storm clouds above. Prior to this moment, you guys waited out the haze. And then, of course, carefully and cautiously, you maneuvered back onto the streets with Don Lero. None of you wasted any time in getting away from the situation. Maybe fearful of getting caught up in something else. All of you are now beaten, worn, weathered, as you walk away from the city, past these ruined homesteads. You see Don is looking around, and then he goes, "Ah! Right here. Stop." You see he's looking at an abandoned farmhouse, and he runs over to it. Does anybody follow him?
Approach?
At a distance, maybe.
Torn will follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on him. So.
Yeah, you guys cautiously, come up behind him. He makes it to the front door first, hopping the steps of the short porch and barreling through the screen door. And you march inside to see it's just a ruined home. Most of the place looks already tossed by previous adventurers or scavengers and the alike. You find on the ground there's the bones of some dead dog, picked clean. You hear Don is in the kitchen, and you guys walk in, and you see it's in tatters. You see he's looking around, and he bends down to some bottom cabinet doors, and he opens it, and he leans in. There you go. You see he then comes out with a small box. He looks at you guys as you come in after him. He goes, "Get lost, Beacon," as I like to call it. If your group gets separated, and one of you happens to make it back to this area before the others, and you want to let them know that you're still alive, something each one of your party would know goes in the box. You see he opens it, and he goes, thank the light." He turns it around, and inside, you see there looks to be a broken arrowhead. He goes, "And she came through here, must have been too long ago." You see that there is a small guitar pick. Uza? Gust. Lausian. Nothing in there for them.
Wait, does everybody use this house? Or is it just you guys? Because what if somebody took somebody's?
Well, unless somebody was looking quite closely. In here? I doubt it, and no, we don't always use this house. It depends upon what side of the city that we're exploring at the moment. But before we decided to go ahead and do this whole operation, we chose this place. And I don't think anybody's touched it. And why would anybody just take one of these things and not just take the whole box?
Maybe to fuck with your head?
Fuck with my head?
Sorry, Don. Ron. Oh my god.
No, you're fine.
I think you're getting I think you think you're perceiving there's a lot more infighting and enemies going on than there might be at the moment.
Only thing that's fucking with my head is this whole clusterfuck of an operation, but they'll be looking for me because you see he takes out his bag of holding. I got all the loot. You see he reaches in his side. He takes out a pouch. You see he takes out a small little yellow gem and he places it in a box. He goes, I guess any one of you could come back and steal it after me, but I don't think your dick's like that. You see he puts the box back down under the counter and closes the door. Maybe Lausi and August got separated somehow. Maybe they'll come through here. We'll come back tomorrow.
Well, they did go in search of the others.
Yeah.
Let's go. You see he looks kind of disappointed. Probably mostly at himself. And then you guys exit out of this ruined house and continue the road back to Emberwood.
Do you guys have a meetup spot in Emberwood?
We have a place where we call a resident. You see, this is like maybe an hour or so later. You guys dip through the forest and come back over the different valleys until you find yourself on that road that leads to Hendrick's farm, and then pass, actually, the road where, you know, there's that slope that goes up to where you guys stay at, and then past that is Hendrick's farm, and then past that is Emberwood. But before you guys get directly to that spot, he stops and he goes, well, I'm gonna go check back at our place of staying for Uza and Anne.
Alright,
Good luck to you, Don.
Good luck to all of you, and hey, it wasn't all bad, you know? Got some delirium out of it. A few other trinkets here or there. And, you came back alive. Which is better than most.
that is true. Unfortunately.
Hey, Don.
Yes?
How about some more trust between us next time? Considering we saved your ass more than one.
He gives Alice a side eye.
She's just looking at him with her arms crossed. She's not saying a damn thing.
Sure. I was totally expecting all of you to screw us over, and I'm pretty sure you were expecting the same of us, so I think that, we should work better together in the future, if the need arrives.
Well, for what it's worth, since we ended up not screwing each other over somehow, thanks to you, and tell the others, I guess, thanks for free lunch for helping us with our first foray. No matter, despite how it ended up.
Of course. Thank all of you. Even you, says to you, Alice. Anyway.
Does not change her look at all.
She says thank you.
Yeah. You see he cuts off of the road. I'll be seeing you around Emberwood then. And you see he begins walking across this field of dead grass and few trees here or there, going off to some other destination you guys don't know anything about.
Well,
that was an adventure.
Can I track which way he went?
You watch him walk down to the horizon and then disappear over a bluff or a small hill, a crest. You can mark this spot, but beyond that, you're not sure where he's going.
Yeah, I would mark the spot and the direction because I have a compass that works.
Okay.
It is better than a compass that doesn't work.
Yeah. It doesn't work in Drakkenheim though, but it works here.
I mean, yeah.
Well, very little does work in Drakkenheim.
You guys then I guess continue on the road. At this moment, you can go back. Where do you want to go? I mean,
let me ask you a question real quick. So so like it's getting late, right?
Yes.
About how late is late? Like, are we talking late afternoon, early evening?
Well, it's early afternoon when we're trapped in the tenement.
Well, sorry, late afternoon. My bad. But like late afternoon. Evening,
it's about it's about 6 p.m. About 3 hours or so till sundown.
Okay. I'm not sure how many guard station are open, but we could always go and probably try to sell some of the stuff we got, or at least get a drink and try to get over today.
Well, we probably need to discuss who we want to sell it to, so we probably want to wait and have that discussion later.
True. So just drinks then?
I kind of want to go see the magic guy so I can get my familiar back.
Okay, so we want to go into town to get at least a few supplies then.
Yeah.
If that's okay. I really miss Ellie.
That makes
understandable.
sense.
Okay.
All right.
Go in, stop by the magic shop, and we'll see what else we can do.
Yeah, we don't have to stay too long. Just
all I really want is maybe to get a drink, if it's like a bottle to go, and something to celebrate our first successful adventure, guys. For all it's worth.
We did hear say that the Gilded Lily was good for that.
All right, let's go then.
So, I'm gonna cut over really quick to Tinu. So, who are you going to visit?
I'm going anywhere that would have, what is it? The 10 gold worth of
incense.
Incense, yeah. I think it's the guy with the black coat, the one that knows my name, and I don't know.
Or the immense.
Yeah, that guy.
The immense gentleman.
Sure. You march over to Caravan Cart. It is Caravan Court. It is still bustling. There's all types of people moving to and fro. You note that as you're walking through here, you don't get I guess the fresh meat looks that you used to get. And you come over to the massive carriage that is of Aldor the Immense. Is anybody else coming with him or her?
Me.
Yeah, and Bati also, because she definitely needs some spell components herself.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. You guys come over into the tent, and you see the 3 mute guards still standing around looking, and of course looking you guys up and down cautiously. You come up to the door, which is open, up the short flight of steps, and you come into Aldor's incense-filled tent. You walk in and, let's see here. Ah! Tinu! Kalina. Did you fail that save?
I think I was one of the few that made it.
You made it?
Failed it initially.
Okay. Are you going too, Ron? You're there?
Yeah, I mean, if most of the party's going, then he'll...
Okay.
Well, he might
Alice,
stick by Alice.
where are you going?
So.
She would go in with them, but I also was one of the ones who passed the save.
Got it.
Unless Lulu's staying outside, then she would stay outside with Lulu.
Yeah, Lou's staying outside the tent. He doesn't like the creepy guy.
Alright, then. She'll stay outside the tent with Lulu.
You see, Vanderbeek approach you, Alice. one of the guys, the guards.
Oh, he's the
for
dude that
outdoor
took the
events.
letter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a couple days ago.
Looking severe as ever, you see he just looks at you, reaches in his side, and then he shoves a small letter onto your shoulder for you to grab it.
Ooh.
I'll grab it.
Quick service.
Yeah.
You see he walks
Cool.
away.
I'm gonna... Does anybody else seem to be paying any attention to us?
No, besides Louis just standing next to you.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll open it real quick.
It has a few simple words on it. It says, Lord Orion Jones would like to have a conversation with you at your leisure. Please come to the Red Lion Hotel, either in the morning or at dusk.
He'll show it to Louis.
Oh, wait. Is that who I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's signed at the bottom, Leamington Whithalf, which you know is that strange goblin that he rolls around with.
Yeah.
I mean, you already know what he's going to ask for.
Yeah, do we go? Or wait for him to happen more?
You think we can take him?
Not today.
While you guys think of that, inside, how may Aldor serve you today?
I'm looking for
A bag of
Incense?
holding?
no, some incense for familiar summoning.
I see. Something must have happened to your cat, unfortunately, in those ruins. You should be more careful next time.
Yeah, I will.
But if you guys are asking for any regular items or stuff, yeah, whatever the cost of it is in the PHB. Actually, the spell components are at regular price in the PHB.
Woohoo! I'm gonna get 20 gold worth of just in case.
Castings worth.
she dies. Yeah, just in
The
case.
next time.
Yeah. And Batu will also be getting 2 castings worth of summoning for familiars.
Torin will be not get anything immediately this time, but he will keep an eye out for any and look around for anything that might catch his eye for the future.
Aldor, how much is a bag of holding? Since you bring it up.
Yes! And, let's see. Whoop. There we go. Here we go. Sign up. Come in. See, I should have. Close this. I'll find this stupid table. I mean, if anybody is like, if anybody has to do anything else here, such as buy certain stuff, you can note it in the channel while I look this up. Okay, let's see here. 2 position. Jesus. Do I have? Let's see. Okay. He says 400 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, I have this painting I found.
Yes, we're going to check with the innkeeper. See if he wants to add that to his collection.
Oh. You're right.
We can come back after we do all the other stuff. So,
okay.
I mean, it's up to Ron, but sorry.
Yeah.
Well, travelers, really quick though, actually, roll me, oh, there it is, okay. Let's see. Roll me, Torin. Roll me a d4.
Alrighty.
Joke's on us, he's the real end boss.
Gotcha. Alright. Oh, okay. Roll me, let's see here. Gotcha. Okay, there it is. That's what I was looking for. Sellable magic items. Is this uncommon? Yes. Okay. You note that he has a shiny, large gem sitting on a shelf near him, Torin. Just to point that out. And as you're looking at it, he goes, "I see you may be interested in an elemental gem."
What color is the gem? You said it was red?
Roll me a d4.
Yeah.
It's an emerald.
Okay. Perhaps. What is the price of that one? Little, very large trinket.
Sure. And then let's see, how much is it actually? Roll me 3d6. He goes, it's 1100. And it's all yours.
As much as
1100
as much
copper.
Great that
1100 copper.
Yeah, as much as I would want it to be, there are certainly maybe after a couple more delves.
Does anybody else look around in here, or no?
I mean, Ron kind of is, but there's nothing peculiar he's looking for. He just knows that he just knows of a bag of holding, and that
Sure.
it would be a little bit easier than carrying around the chest with tools to.
Roll me a d4.
Rolling a d4. A 3.
Roll me 3 percentiles. You spot that there is a small jar of dust on a counter. It has a gold cap to it. You then see sitting next to it is a small bottle of some very thick-looking liquid. No, actually, if you like push on the counter, it's very viscous. It's not thick at all. And lastly, you see some goggles sitting in a leather case.
Ooh, what did those goggles do?
That allows one that does not have the ability to see in darkness to illuminate the night. Goggles of night, as they call them.
Okay, and
I may not have it here next time, so if you want to get it, today's your chance.
well, only if we can afford it, or only if I can afford it.
Roll me 3d6.
Tina is willing to give you some, like, her money to get it if you want it.
That will be 900 gold.
Oh, I only have 33 gold, so
Hey,
I can't help you with that.
That's the big problem we're having is not the desire to help others, it's the fiscal constraint.
Yeah,
on
I
what
think
we actually
even if
want.
all
These
of
are
us
prices
put
in the
money
book.
together.
These are prices in the book.
We'll all band together and buy a car. The car, it's like we do not have enough together to buy the car.
Yeah, we don't even have enough all together for fucking goggles.
Yeah, if we took all of our shards, all of our fragments, art objects, and all that together, and based on the sell value, we might be able to get 500 gold together.
Maybe a little more. Maybe a little bit more.
Maybe.
If we include our gold, the actual gold that we're still carrying.
Which we didn't find much gold. We found a lot of silver and copper.
Aldor looks at you all as he puffs on his pipe. I see you need to go back to Drakkenheim a few more times.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly.
And I'm assuming you don't have a layaway program, right?
No, but I may be willing to hold something for you if you give me... we could play it by if you give him a third of the cost. He'll hold it.
300. What if we do 100?
For 300, you could almost buy a bag of holding.
That is true. You could. But no.
Wait, we could buy a bag of holding for 300?
It's 400 for the bag
No,
of
I said
holding.
almost.
He said we could. I thought he was, pushing that. Maybe he would sell it for 300 instead.
Ah, I get it.
Imagine rolling 3 ones on that d6. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time you want to roll low.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
You know what? It's the median. It's half of 18. So I'm not super mad about it.
Wait, so you know that we're new here? I know that you know because you know my name.
I know a
Can you,
lot of things, dear Tinu, yes.
So you can't Ron, do you really want these? Why don't... There's no way that you could, like, help us out and we could just give you... Like, it's not like we're taking the item and running with it. We're giving you gold to hold it.
I'm helping you out by being here in Emberwood to begin with, don't you think?
You mean helping yourself out?
That too. Mutually beneficial. Yes.
She turns around and rolls her eyes so he doesn't see her. Whatever.
So, you know what, Tinu? I appreciate it. I have a spell that will let me see in the dark, plus, my personal...
I do
fire.
have spell scrolls. Ah? You see he gestures a hand off to his side, and you see what looks to be a bunch of scroll cases leap off the shelf and float over, and land onto a small table next to him. Maybe any of these will strike your fancy?
Yeah. I think we'll be back. Is that okay, Ron? We have to go get dinner and do some things, but thank you so much for letting me buy my familiar things. But we will be back. I promise. I mean, you already know that though.
I hope so. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And I pull Ron out the door. He's trying to scam us. Hurry up.
Alright, you got to back outside. Meanwhile, though, Alice, Louis, did you guys want to do anything while you were waiting outside?
No, I would just be waiting for him.
Actually, there is one thing
Yes.
Louis wants to do. Alice, making sure the others are inside, Louis waits for a moment and says, "What? Look when I pilfer from that poof, that dumb Duamlero." And he filches out a sack, and he opens it and he shows you.
Her eyes go like big, and she kind of like does a little happy clap. As quiet, as subtly as she can. She's like, "Oh, I'm so good. Oh, I love you, Lulu."
We got one up on him. That's all I'm content about.
Yeah, I don't like him.
As you're leaving, Aldor shouts, "I do purchase delirium! Just saying!"
I don't respond. I keep pulling Ron as fast as I can.
Bye!
Thank you!
Mayhaps after a couple drinks and a good night's sleep, but for now, until we meet again.
Yeah. Batu will wiggle her fingers and depart.
Alright. You guys are heading where now?
Good question.
We were
Drinks?
we going to the Gilded Lily, or are we going to the... Are we going to the inn? Which one were we going to?
I don't know if Alice is ready to go to the inn.
What's wrong with the inn?
Well, I can't remember its exact name, but it's the one where the people we bought the house was from, right?
Yeah, it's that was the Bark and Buzzard.
Bark and Buzzard, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's three, and there's only one I'm not bringing up, and that's the violent one, where apparently you guys got...
Oh, I thought you were talking about going to the Red Lion Hotel to sell the painting.
No,
that was out of character. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no, not until tomorrow. Tonight.
Yeah.
Drinks,
We don't have
and a
any
good
spell
night's
slots.
rest, celebration.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess as we're heading towards wherever we're heading towards, Alice would absolutely kind of mention to everybody the letter she got.
Wait, is that who you sent the first letter to?
No, that was when we were there last time, the guy that tried to tell me to go upstairs. Go with him.
Wait, so did your initial letter get intercepted then?
Who knows? I'd be impressed if he could read it.
So you guys are going to the Gilded Lily or the Bark and Buzzard, or back to your quote-unquote home?
We want to get at least one bottle to take back with us and something to drink.
Alright.
Are we, because we're going to eat and talk about what we're selling, right? We wouldn't do it in public, right? So I guess we're getting everything to go?
Yeah.
That is I think the idea is we're gonna get a drink to go. We're gonna head back, talk about what we're gonna sell, talk about the jive, and while we share drinks in our ramshackle home.
Yeah. Do we pass by Hendrick's farm on the way to home?
Yes.
Or okay. So if Alice knows that that's the case, she would actually ask the party if we could stop by Hendrick's farm to see if Hopper is there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, you take out a scroll of Uber Eats and cast it, and some guy.
Yeah, deliver it to our house on the hill. It's like the ranch.
We're here. Why are we paying a delivery fee?
Oh yeah, that's true.
We're already here for the carry out. Why are we?
You don't want the delivery fees here. Shit.
I don't want the delivery or the tip fees here. Nah.
All right, so the Gilded Lily or the Barking Buzzard. To get your food, where you go?
I don't know, the one that blew the guy's face off with.
No, we're not going to there.
Oh, to the Skull and Sword? Yes, let's go there.
No.
Just Gilded Lily?
Let's try the Gilded Lily. We haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. You guys march over into the Gilded Lily. And let's go ahead and hop there. There we go.
What's that thing?
And let's put you guys on the map. Let's see here. Characters.
I like this music.
Yeah, that's
I'm already liking the vibe. Damn.
Yeah, I like it too.
All right. You can move yourselves in.
Kevin Wheeler.
So, this lavish two-story building is surrounded by a veranda of decorated and swirling lily motifs and painted purple. It has ornate golden glowing lanterns hanging between the veranda arches and within its curtained windows. Inside the place, you see that there is large golden lamps that light a small stage way in the back. And the stage is also set. There's also a bunch of candlelit tables set around this stage. Floral arrangements line the walls, and a well-stocked bar displays wines and spirits from across the world. You see that there is a bartender there. Of course, our Kevin Wheeler is a young human male. You see that he's kind of upbeat. He's like whistling to himself as you can hear this music belting out around this area. These are tunes that you probably haven't heard outside of Westamar. You see, he looks at you. Ah! Welcome to the Gilded Lily. How can I help you? Need a table?
Well, actually, is it possible to buy a bottle here to go, or?
Sure, but you're gonna miss open mic night.
Ooh.
I'm fine with that.
A bit tempting, but it's been a long day with a delve.
Oh, come on, are you sure? Actually, if any of you guys are funny or have some talents, you can make some money yourself.
Money?
Yes.
The dollar signs in the eyes pop up. Money?
Well, novels are expensive. Okay.
I know, it's okay. Reasonable or not, it's still funny.
Look, you see the bartender. He puts down his glass. Mike, may he rest in peace. He's the one that started the tradition of open mic night here. And, yeah. People come up, magic shows, musical numbers, poetry, storytelling, performances. I mean, if you do a good enough job, People throw some coins your way. You see, he points to the tables where people are already full.
I wish I was a level 6 bard.
I know, right?
The one where you charm the whole room if they listen to you? Oh, yeah.
I know, I'm like, Alice isn't a bard anymore.
What about tomorrow night? Do you guys only host this once a week?
He goes, we have open mic night every night.
Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
All right.
I got some tricks for you.
Sounds good. Well, if you're looking to go ahead and, I guess, buy some wine, you see he looks back at his collection here, and he lists out some very, various names, stuff that sounds like it's from Ilaria, from Caspia, and even all the way from the Isles of Skye. And he, of course, describes each bottle. Most of the time he tells you at the end of all of his statements, you're not going to find this anywhere else within like 100 miles of this place. Guaranteed. But he tells you the price is going to be... Let's see here.
Oh, isn't it like double the price?
Therein lies the question.
Nope.
But then again,
It's going to be 20 gold.
Damn.
Oh, that's not too bad, right?
Well, to put it in context,
It's a lot, but it's not as much
that's
as
a
I
lot of fucking money
expected.
for a bottle of wine, yeah.
This is like, to put it in real world context, that's like a couple thousand, like $1,000 or so dollars of wine.
Let me make sure I got this right real quick. Let me see here.
Well, it's like, well, usually a decent bottle of wine is like 10 gold. Because remember, like a week's wages for a trained person is 2 gold.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. I guess it's because 20 gold sounds a lot better than 900 gold. I was like, oh, it's not that bad.
Our most
a bottle
upscale
of wine versus magical items that bend reality and summon things from thin air. So
yes,
there's a little bit of a difference in that. Still expensive though.
But yeah, Colomati will definitely chip in towards a bottle of spirits.
What? I will recommend this bottle here, seeing that we have several elves in our group, or at least a couple. And you see he presents a nice bottle of Eladrian wine. You can see on the label on it, Kolabadi has like the cliffs of the Isles of Skye, and you can see the spires and whatnot, and these pillars where the strongholds are at, the citadels.
Shall we? If you like,
I'll chip.
Holds the bottle.
Arnold chip in 5 gold.
Tina will chip in too.
But no, I'm doing another action.
He collects the gold. Thank you very much. You guys do note that a lady does come out the back. She gives you guys a look. But she doesn't say anything. There we go.
Oh.
Oh my.
She just looks you guys up and down. She notes the small pile of gold you guys handed over. And with that, she then decides to come over. Well, Kevin, what do we have here? You guys, I see, have been quite busy out in the ruins.
A bit, yes. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Yes, you can call me Madame Rochelle.
Yes, well,
Are you staying for open mic night? She
No,
doesn't
tonight.
seem to be interested in your name at all.
Yeah. No, not tonight. It's been a very long days of ups and downs, and we have some things to discuss before we have to make the trek back, and some things to discuss before tomorrow. But we might come back around the but tomorrow night, chat for what sounds like a very fun time.
Excellent then. I'll be expecting all of you. Actually, I can reserve a table up front if you would like. It's only a silver.
I'll look back at the group. Does that sound good to you guys?
What,
Gives
for
us
tonight?
plans for tomorrow.
Yeah.
For tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm down for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that's
Torn
okay.
will, getting the confirmation. Torn will pass over a silver.
You see, she takes it with two painted, her nails are painted, polished. She takes out her hand and she hands it over to Kevin, who dutifully gives a nod and puts it behind the counter. At this moment, all of you guys suddenly hear, wait a minute, where are you going? Come back! Screw you then! And it seems to be coming from all the way up here north. You see a bunch of what looks to be some smug adventurers all get up from this table and they all leave. Fine then! When I come back with all of these treasure, you'll see, you'll be wishing. You'll be wishing, I promise. And yeah. You see this guy mutters to himself, and he has a bunch of papers all over this table, and he looks like he's trying to pack it up. You guys do note that over here, there is a spiral staircase that goes up to a second floor, and actually, there is a wraparound balcony that kind of leaves this sole center space open, and the edges, you can look up and tell that there's more tables and stuff up there.
Did we recognize any of the adventurers leaving?
No.
Okay.
They just walk past you muttering and punch themselves. You hear one of them goes, oh no, that was a bunch of bullshit. I can't believe I wasted my time. Me neither, And they head out. You guys stay or leave?
This seems pretty.
We'll be back the take a ball and head back towards and the farm on the way.
Real quick, do you have any milk that you can sell me? Just like a small,
I look over at my sister like, what?
I'll look at Madame Rochelle. She has a pet. She has a pet.
For Ellie, because of what she had to go through.
Of course, for you, darling, I can go ahead and give you some milk. It's going to be 5 gold.
Yeah, that's fine. How big is it, Brett?
It's a pint.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Okay, yeah, I'll give her 5 gold for that.
Roll me a perception check.
You better be sharing smoke with me.
Yeah, you can have some too, sis. 21.
Her eyes seem to light up at the fact that you're more than willing to buy the milk. She goes, I can't wait to see all of you tomorrow evening.
Yeah, she's.
She'll be a lot more depressed tomorrow.
I take note of that. But I'll still pay 5. I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah, she takes the pint and she has Kevin put it in what looks to be a beer bottle and cap it off and give it to you.
Thank you.
No problem. Be safe.
Till tomorrow then.
All right. You guys leave the swag of the Gilded Lily back out to Emberwood.
Well, I say we, unless anyone has any other plans, we head on back, share this, have ourselves a talk about tomorrow, and get hopefully
Sounds
better,
good.
and hopefully get a decent night's sleep.
All right. You guys, I guess, nod at each other and decide to stop at the Hendricks farm along the way. You arrive back at the Hendricks farm, and it's just as you left it. Actually, you're arriving back here right when you see all of the various members of the followers of the Falling Fire gathering around the bonfire and them making another stage to hear some more enlightening sermons in the night. As you come in and you look around, Alice, go ahead and roll me a percentile. Hopper will be here if it's 30% or less.
Ooh.
He's here!
Hey.
I'll take the bad roll. Yay!
You see he's towards the back, hanging out near this cart of a bunch of items that people have been, of course, donating to the cause. And you see he stands up tall as you approach. Alice, welcome back.
Yeah, well, maybe. You might be saying that, and she'll hand him over the letter.
You see he looks at you curious and looks at it. He scoffs. He goes, "Do you feel like you need protection?"
He'll kind of look back at the group. I mean, probably. I just wasn't sure if, Chloe meant seeing if you wanted to possibly go. If I don't go talk to him, he's gonna just hunt me down. It's just gonna make it worse.
You see he seems a bit conflicted. He goes,
I know.
"I'm not sure things will go well if he sees me and I see him, but..."
But if that's what we want to happen.
Is that what you want?
I don't know what I want right now. I want sleep.
When are you gonna go see him?
Well, I gotta talk with the rest of the group. I know they wanted to go by and sell a painting that we found in Drakkenheim. So I'm sure we're gonna be going there. I don't know if it'll be morning or dusk though. But we have to pass by here. On the way back.
If you want me to go, Alice, I'll go.
Do you want to go? Or do you not want to be known yet?
I'm afraid he may try to find out what I'm doing here and hurt the others here.
Okay.
But if you need me to go, I'll go. But I'm going to leave it up to you. I don't want to endanger the congregation. But for you, to make sure it doesn't hurt you, of course I'll show.
Well, are you going to be here in the morning?
Yes, in a few days I will have to lead another group down to the city, but I'll be here.
To do what? What are you taking him into the city for?
Well, there comes a time where some followers reach enlightenment, I guess we can go ahead and call it. They feel like they're ready for the sacrament. And we take them into the city to St. Brianna's Chapel. And there they complete the next stage of their journey.
Did you have to do that when you became a champion?
Huh. I haven't took the sacrament yet. But one day I will.
What'd you have to do when you became a champion?
Dedicate myself to the followers of the Falling Fire. And, of course, you see he reaches into a side pouch of his and he takes out what looks to be a fist size delirium fragment. My focus. I had to find one.
Did he just raw dogging it with his hand, touching that thing?
Yeah, he's just touching it.
Oh.
That doesn't affect you touching it like that?
It can, but I've had this one on me for many weeks now, few months. It doesn't
No bad
affect me
dreams?
because I'm here to learn. I'm not here to steal or misuse what the fire has given us. But I'd be lying to you if I said I've never gotten sick. But I'm still here, which says something.
Uh-huh. Okay. She was kind of looking at him like a little weird. Alright. Well, I will talk
Those
to them
who
and-
follow the path long enough and take the sacrament, they have nothing more to worry about when it comes to the crystal or anything going on in Drakkenheim for that matter.
After the sacrament, do they come back here?
Many stay at the chapel and listen to Lucretia Matthias's words, meditate, and prepare for, as you already know, the dawn of the new age. Some come back here if they need to in order to stop the church from harassing us or do some other duties, but most who've taken the sacrament stay in the city, as they are no longer affected.
Right. Okay. Well, I don't want to keep them. I know they're already we pitched them for a bottle of wine. So I'll let you know in the morning.
Take care of yourself.
And she'll give him a big old hug before she leaves.
Yeah, he gives you a solid embrace.
She kind of holds on a little longer than normal. Or she walks away.
As you guys are leaving, on a note about this conversation, you do see a couple people emerge out of a tent, and it looks like they're carrying a body that's limp. But unless you guys stick around, you know what they're about to do it.
Throw that shit in the fire.
If you walk back, that's exactly what you see.
Yeah, is it a familiar party though? Like, is it anybody that we know?
No.
Okay. I'm not gonna worry about it then.
Yeah.
By chance, did Laotian show up there while we were there?
No, you do not see him.
Okay.
You guys then head away from the Hendricks farm as you see Nathaniel Flint standing on his crates and begins talking to his congregation. Eventually, you guys make it all the way back, up the steep slopes, through the dark, twisted woods, back to the ruined Miners Guild Hall. We're going to say all of you guys are chilling here now in the basement. I'm going to say this place doesn't look disturbed. If you look around, it doesn't look like anybody's came through here. You guys moved away. You guys moved away all those dead gnolls? Because if you didn't, it stinks to high hell around this place.
I think we did. I think that was the one thing we did do. We didn't really get.
Got it. You come in and secure yourselves here in your small hideout, and finally take a seat, take a rest. You know that. You ever been to like a really poppin' event? There's like a concert or something. There's a lot of action and shit going on. There's like, just chaos and excitement going on around you. And then you leave that event and there's like a ringing in your ears. Mm-hmm. And you feel like kind of spacey for a moment. That's what I imagine you guys experience now. You literally a few days ago fought some bandits on the road, or I'm sorry, a giant, one bandit. Had a bar fight at the Skull and Sword Tap House. Talked to several individuals throughout Emberwood, and then took your cleared out this place of gnolls, then took your first expedition into Drakkenheim, and maybe you're just now beginning to feel the weight of all of these events. It kind of maybe feels like you were thrown into chaos. And it's uncertain if there's ever going back. But as you guys sit around and think about the events and chill and relax, it's up to you. What do you guys do? Oh, well, occasionally you do hear the water running under the floorboards. I
mean, that's a good thing, honestly.
Ooh, okay, I was going to ask about that. I was like, do we still hear the water running?
I will certainly... I know one thing that I'm absolutely going to do, and that's to get our new bottle of spirits, get some what glasses we have, and pop that sucker open.
And another thing. While you are popping the bottle and pouring drinks and maybe looking over some of the things you guys have found, you look at the delirium fragments. Maybe you put them on the table. You realize that this is leverage. This is currency. What are you going to do with it?
Well, before anything else, a toast to not dying.
Here, here.
Yeah. We'll pour a drink out for anyone who wants one, and roast. Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the floor is open for you guys to RP about. I mean, I imagine you're thinking, what comes next for each of you, considering your personal quest or things you need to do?
Well, now that that's all taken care of, what happens next? We have our first box full of our first legitimate set of loot. And there's a couple people we can go and take this to. We have the painting, which is those a few of us who know about art can attest, it might be worth some decent coin.
And any of you who look at the painting, you can roll a religion check.
And more than anything else, we've now proven to everyone here that we can at least go into the city and survive. At least for a time.
Yeah, Ron has absolutely no idea.
Okay, but is there anyone we actually want to give delirium to? I don't know if I necessarily want anybody we've met to have it.
We're gonna have
well,
the academy.
Want is a strong word, but if we want actual gold to get certain materials like any of those magic items Aldor or the Immense had, we're gonna have to pawn this stuff off.
I would like to sell some to the academy.
I vote academy too.
You think they'll want their ancient robes and crap back that I found too?
They might. We could probably use it to get a little extra coin if we're willing to, or at least a bit better favor.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't have any reason to hold on to it.
I don't know how many honestly, pawning that off might not be the best idea because they might start asking questions if stuff like that just starts passed around.
To interrupt, the picture is a portrait of this lady here. And if you got a 15 or higher, you know, as the title says, this is the current divine matriarch, Mercy V. She is the leader of the Church of the Sacred Flame in Alaria. And those of you who got higher than a 15 would know that she was the youngest matriarch divine matriarch ever assigned to this position.
I'm assuming she was she like too high up for us to have ever actually met her?
I was about to say that actually, Kalina and Tinu, you both met this woman before, but that's a story for another day.
Since this is a quote-unquote religious portrait, would we be able to sell the one hanging in this room too? Can I discern that, or do we have to actually take it to the guy?
It is ruined. That it's like falling to pieces. Okay. Yeah.
Unfortunate, but I do know that I might want to. I don't know if they buy them, but I would want to take some to the hooded lanterns to prove that we, at least as genuine proof that we succeeded.
Oh, speaking of success, hold on a sec. And Louis puts on gloves and goes and pulls out a pouch.
What have you done?
And he says, I found this. And he puts a fragment down on the table to match the other ones that you guys have.
Oh. Nice.
Where did this come from?
Apparently his pocket.
I mean, just call it... Thanks, Ron. Just call it recompense for what Dunn did.
But the 80-20 joke?
Yeah.
Does that put us at 50-50?
No, he put considering that his price to get him out alive were his chips. It probably puts us in the 80 actually. That's weird.
Well, but those were my chips.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's okay. That's out of character. That was me forgetting that was the one you.
No, you're fine.
My bad. I mean,
it was all I could take before that bastard turned around. Also, speaking of which, are we going to work with those people again?
Okay,
I don't want to.
Okay, look, they were not that bad, and now that we've helped him get out alive, they're more willing to negotiate.
Tinu holds a high five up for Louis. She hates this guy.
Thank you, Tinu. I agree that they are good in a fight. Whenever we work with folks, we're cutting whatever coin we bring back in half. And I saw how long you all took in Aldor the Immense Tent, and I'm assuming all your eyes went all glittery gold when you saw all this pretty shiny thing. Think about that next time you want to split the share.
Yes, but having a group we can actually decently rely on and has some measure of leverage over in case we need it might be good.
That's the word. Torrin. Need. But fair enough. I figured you've all shared with me. Might as well return the favor.
Well,
besides, I'm no thief, and
I do appreciate your candor, Louis.
Of course. He raises his glass and takes a sip.
And any negotiations of future dealings with free lunch can happen when it comes around to it. But for now, so we have some we're gonna probably pass off to the Amethyst. We could probably pass them off to Aldor, get some. Maybe at good fortunes it'll get him some good favors to any deals or items in the future. Maybe reserve the ability to reserve things, if nothing else. I want to take a couple for that even if they don't take it, just to prove the hooded lanterns of our so we can begin some kind of negotiations with them.
Did the lady that you knew, Ron? I forgot the old
Zoya.
Zoya.
Well, did she want any for her to teach us the contamination spell?
So she was in the same boat as what seemed most of the other people were. I do believe that she does want some, and I was thinking that might be what we could use the chips for as our leverage instead of using the fragments, since the chips are significantly smaller and worth less.
Okay.
But I don't think bringing one back to her is immediate, maybe on the next trip.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking plans tomorrow, and I do want to see who, if any of us, would be willing. So, Laucian, if who survived, said that he would meet us tomorrow night at the Flaming Fists bonfire.
Yeah.
And he would tell us the tale of his journey to the crater. If anybody would like to go into that memory with me, I should be able to convince him to share it. But I don't know what we're gonna find.
That's the question, isn't it?
So.
But if it's sorry, just
you're okay.
How does that? If it's a memory, it's already happened. You can't change what he shares.
Well, I'll be completely
before.
honest. Considering what we saw, what we shared on the trip over here.
That's yeah.
I know for a fact that had already happened before that night.
So, but the difference is this time we all will go in knowing what it is. I don't know why the last time was so different and why I was the only one.
To be fair, none of us knew who you were at the time. You brought in what was essentially 6 strangers, very confused strangers.
Is there a possibility of dying, like for real, if we die in the dream?
Generally, you should wake up. If you die
considering
in the
dream, I got thrown off and glitched in.
That was my fault.
Well, I'm not going to blame. Well, I wouldn't say fault because I wouldn't blame you for that. Thanks. I mean,
it was more of I needed to see where the end went, and if we lost somebody during the dream, then we might not have been able to get to the last train car.
True.
So
I suppose
that was my fault.
I suppose bring up even if there's no chance of dying, I don't think we should. I think that might go out the window with those tendrils.
Well, there's that, and then if Hans finds us in the Makir or in the Fanzuk, you know, there's no telling what can happen.
There might be a fight.
If it gets to that point, I should be able to wake us all up. But there may not be a fight at all. We could. I don't know what he experienced in the crater, so you know that's kind of the goal. I don't trust something to not be hidden from us at this point. I don't. You know, the only reason why I tried to protect Don Laro was because if we came back without him, you know, our names could be shamed in the town for now.
Well, it's probably better that we did. Anyway, look, I suppose the baseline rule of the entire of this is the same as it's always been. Keep on your toes.
Kala, do you care about the church?
That's a loaded question.
I mean, I guess, okay, so
he just giggles at that.
So since we can learn the spell from old Zoya, like, I don't want to give any to the church. I really didn't like them when I met them. But I was just, before I said that, I just wanted to know if you wanted to give any to the church. Because that way we could cross the church off the list, if that makes sense.
Now you do know that, like, learning these incantations is not like you do that in like 20 minutes. It's like it takes some serious time.
Yeah, but we can learn it from old Zoya, so like I don't care about the church anymore, kind of, because that was the whole reason why I cared, was that spell.
I guess I'm a little confused.
All right, look, the church, most of our interactions with the church has been limited, but that doesn't mean we have to just immediately burn that bridge. We have a limited amount. We have some
I
people
realize that some of the people who work with them are hard to tolerate.
Zealots?
I mean...
But that's not everybody. And I'm looking at Tinu, but I'm not going to say...
So...
There's a reason I think we should keep learning.
Okay, I'm basically ready to go.
But I also don't know if this is the best, I don't know, branch.
No, I get it.
All right. Look, how about this? When we talk to them, they are very vehement against delirium, and honestly, considering some of the stuff we've seen the last couple of weeks, I kind of understand where they're coming from. That being said, we do need some money, so how about this? We'll keep them in mind. We'll see how it goes in the future. Maybe we can talk to them. But for now, we'll put the delirium in some other places, and maybe next dive or afterwards, then we'll see.
I agree with you.
Despite everything, could be a strong ally to have.
I don't want to... Go ahead.
Can we keep a small portion from the next dive to take to maybe foster some goodwill to give to them? And I can go by myself.
No, I'll go with you.
We can just say it was my portion, and not all of my group has the same.
Hold on. So just to make sure, right now we have, and this is just, so we have 3 chips and, is it 5 fragments?
6 fragments.
6 fragments. Right now, we could with that amount. We could probably keep something in reserve in case we need it. As long as we might need to buy a second box though for that.
How much was the box?
Wasn't it 25? And we all pitched in?
3. No.
Hold on, I'm looking.
It's 5 times whatever. Yeah, look in the channel. You'll find it there.
Let's see. Dinner for the party. No. Should have.
Oh no, the mining kit was 75 gold.
Yeah, the mining kit was a bit.
Well, if we can get the bag of holding down to about 300, then we wouldn't need the mining. We wouldn't need a secondary mining kit. You know, we have all the materials, and we wouldn't have to carry around the little chest.
I think Ron's right. Money is the most important right now.
I'd be honest. I'd still want I want some kind of chest to put this in, even if we get a bag, just because I don't trust this stuff near anything at the moment.
So we put the chest in the bag.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Well, we can figure something. Maybe we'll just keep some extras in the chest, and it'll have to, and we'll still carry that around with us. Maybe not. We'll figure something out, Kalina.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do agree with you about to keep learning, but I really didn't like that lady.
It's in Drakkenheim. We've met a lot of people from everywhere, from all the groups we don't really like.
I feel like this isn't the best place to make friends.
Yeah. But speaking of that, out of what happened today, does anyone want to talk about anything? Figured might keep our thoughts in order and keep us sane with all the things we've been seeing.
Wait, so Alice, you never told us, are you a princess?
Alice will just be like, she's been quiet this whole time, just like sipping her wine, actively not looking at anybody.
Alice, are you all right still? I mean, that jackass relative of yours is still around. So.
Yeah, I'm not a princess. I don't know, what would Alice's title be, Brent?
You're just.
She didn't have one.
You're just part of the noble family, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm just came from the Jones family.
So
but obviously that's pretty loaded, you know.
It is pretty loaded.
Don't have to call you Your Highness or anything.
No, please don't.
No?
No, please.
Well, all right. Well,
Well,
Alice.
if we're going by etiquette, we should at least call you lady.
Oh God.
I mean,
Lady
Alice.
Alice.
No. No.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I'm not.
And as a cold body's like, that takes one to know one.
What were you gonna say there, Louis?
All right, I'm sorry, Your Majesty.
No offense, Addy, but I'm not calling you lady.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to call you lady either.
No,
Mostly because I'm afraid you'll stab me if I do.
I won't stab you. You just keep me clean. You're fine. You're safe.
Lady Alice is kind of pretty.
I mean, yeah, but Alice is just a nickname anyway, so it's fine. You're already calling me something. It's okay.
Okay.
Wait, so what about you, Torin?
Now Torin's not looking at the group.
I heard that what that lady said to you. Something, you seem important too.
Yeah, she seemed right pissed with you, lad.
Yeah, and she suddenly stopped attacking us when you said your name.
And while all these conversations are going on, Kolobati is putting her teapot in the middle of the table.
Okay, first off, if we... Okay, first off, I'm definitely not important. And second, she wasn't pissed at me. She's pissed at my mom, my mother.
And?
Is she right to be?
According, my mother is Olivier Grendel of House Grendel, who is a family of some renown who was giving some aid to the Hooded Lanterns, and that aid has apparently stopped, which she is taking exception to.
So we have a lord too.
Well, no. Well, maybe.
Sir?
I don't know. My mom, my brother, and I got out, but my dad was still in the city when the comet fell.
Oh no, I'm so
sorry.
sorry.
That's honestly one of the main... There's a number of reasons why I'm here, but honestly, that's one of the main one. I'm looking for what happened and what's left of Barghest Grendel.
Let's see here. Alice.
Mm-hmm.
You can roll me a history check if you want.
Sure. 15.
You know this name. You know it by association with your adoptive sister, who was in Drakkenheim for obvious reasons. You would know that this Barghest was part of the royal court, and served the king in some capacity. Name was mentioned a few times by this adoptive sister of yours, who ended up living in Drakkenheim.
She's not gonna say anything.
Oh man!
Come on, you guys, out with it! Out with it!
But just... I know my family's had dealings with, look, the Hooded I know what happened with the city, with the Hooded Lanterns, is one of the group, a person in one of the groups that we don't like, that we've met in every group that I mentioned earlier, but They have some connection to my family, and that means they have some information. I'm not gonna ask any. Similar to Kalina, I'm not gonna ask people to devote themselves to that, but I would like to pursue that, if only for my own interests. I can't fail here in Drakkenheim. I have to get what I need to do done.
You know, Torian, take. Let me interrupt you. Take inspiration for sharing a bit of yourself. You can keep it till next session.
Ooh.
Brent, like, talk, y'all.
If you're not gonna, if you're not gonna do it with the stick, I'm gonna give you some carrots until you talk.
Well, I think it's a good idea to get aligned with the Hooded Lanterns too, since they're the ones that patrol the city. Yeah. So if they see us, they'll leave us alone.
Aye, and they've got potential work.
Yeah.
I mean, there.
So, for the sake of transparency, we're also looking for family. We briefly mentioned it with our brother. He's crazy right now, but we found him at least.
I mean, I'd call him a jerk, but yeah.
Tina turns around and like kicks a bench. Ugh.
I'm not sure what's going on with him right now, but he wasn't always that much of a jerk. I mean, he's a little bit, but he was usually really good and sweet and good to us. But he said he wants to try and find Mom as well, and I don't know if he's going with the right group to do it.
He doesn't even have the same information. I don't know what he's doing.
Well,
so we're looking for our mom, and I don't know how much you want to share, Kala, but Tina will pull out the Eladrin tree and set it on the table, and then she'll pull out the little movie disc and set it on the table. So when we were in Drakkenheim and Louis found that flyer, I recognized it because of this. And our dad told us that our mom always had this with her, but that would have meant that she would have had to have been from Drakkenheim because of the I think this is like the movie machine. We don't know what's on it, and our dad didn't know what it was. And then
this clearly it's got some information, and so if we can find where that movie machine is, we can find what's on it.
Yeah, and then he also gave us this tree that tells you if you're sick.
So we can use it to help us figure out if anybody's been contaminated.
That would certainly be helpful.
Speaking of which, I'll poke my finger and put a drop of blood in there.
I think we have to wait like an hour or something before checking each person, but it may not be a bad thing to keep an eye out on everyone.
Oh, Alice doesn't want to. I'm not gonna. Okay. Yeah, I told her we wouldn't like push anybody to do it.
No, if you don't want to, that's fine. But for anybody,
if you want to use it,
you know. And while we're on the subject of carrying delirium, Louis, maybe don't keep it in your pockets.
Yeah, I understand with your concern.
Maybe a bag
for first lunch with free lunch, but next time pull me aside and we can toss it in the chest. Don't carry that thing in your pocket.
Unless you don't want.
I don't want tentacles to start popping out of it.
You think I should get checked?
You know what? If considering you've had it there for a couple hours, maybe that'd be a good idea, just in case.
Oh, we could use the tree, but we have to wait 2 hours. An hour for it to stop. Yeah, it's because I already did it. So it's an hour to see mine, and then an hour for it to reset, and then he can do it.
Okay.
So Kalabanti's like leaning in close and taking a look at this little bulb with the tree in it.
Oh, you after a while you recognize it 100%.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think I've fed enough of my own blood to this particular tree.
Huh? How? This is our. Didn't Dad? I look at college. Didn't Dad tell us it was a
We've
family
had this
heirloom?
for years. It's been on the mantle.
Well,
Plot hole. That tree was with your family for like a couple years or so.
Oh, okay.
To be fair,
I thought it was just cool on the fly to go ahead and put that in there. So yeah.
But we were little though.
We were young, so we probably wouldn't have
noticed.
Yes.
I mean, for a kid, it's been there for years. Doesn't really
exactly.
Yeah, it's always there.
Yeah.
It's always been there. It's on the mantle.
Your father was metal?
What?
Manel? He's saying the last name.
Yeah.
I was read the first name again.
That's our name. Manel.
I think if you're talking about the father's first name.
Oh, it's Aranor.
Aranor.
A brother is Anar. Dad is Aranor. Sorry, it's confusing.
It's totally, it's fantasy.
Yeah. So, Aranor Manel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gave your father this tree.
Huh?
What?
When?
Hold on a sec. Torrin's gonna get another glass of spirits before we go into this.
Kalina will reach out for some.
Yeah.
Well, he came to Skya a few years ago.
When?
So was it 3 years ago?
It was a couple years ago. Obviously, Tinu and Kalina, you would have been still studying with the Sacred Flame at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did he come there?
He came because of the initiation of the Shadar Kai. And he usually comes to Sky. He usually comes to Sky regularly, but that was the first time I'd seen him come in several years.
Wait, what does that have to do?
Where?
For the Elven pilgrimages?
Yeah. The Elvish people numerous times usually, majority of them will migrate back to the gates.
Do we know this, Brent?
Yes, all of you growing up.
No, I remember they used to go on pilgrimages. I didn't
Yes.
think our dad used to do it much.
You know that your father was a guide, a scout, and a guide that would take various people the best paths through Westamar to get to the Isles of Skye. That was what he did, quote unquote, for work.
Oh, right.
But I don't think Dad would have known anything about the Shadow Kai. So why would he have been there doing that?
Yeah.
You've never asked him about that or what he was doing about
we
that.
Just
so
I took people.
I would ask Body that. What does my dad have to do with that? Why was he there?
Well, it's deep elven lore. It's just the Shadar Kai are those that are best linked with the history of the elves.
Wait, so you're telling me he came there for a history lesson?
I guess, but probably more recent history.
About what?
He had questions about his wife.
About our mom?
I'm guessing that is the...
Come on, I'm not making any assumptions. I don't know. Maybe he got somebody on the side. No, I'm joking.
Okay, hold on a sec.
No, keep going.
This is already getting complex enough. Let's not make it.
Did it have to do with a guy with the academy?
Oh, maybe he was trying to find her.
But okay, wait. In the time that he went to go see Body, Mom was still at home though, right, Brett?
Correct.
Yeah,
correct.
she wasn't
we
missing
don't
yet.
know that because we know that he went at some point when we were gone.
Oh yeah, because we were gone. You're right. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing like cartwheels.
But wait. But before you guys went to Drakkenheim, we did have a little flashback where you guys went home and had a conversation with Dad, and Dad told you about a year ago she disappeared. So, which means then that she must have still been home while your dad went to the Isles of Skye. But who knows?
Oh.
Maybe when he came back, that was when she was gone. But yeah, far as you know, a couple years back, she should have still been there.
Okay, so wait, I lost my I'm doing mental cartwheels right now.
Okay, so
I know, I'm trying to figure out.
Well, hold on. Let me just try to summarize this.
What do I know and what does my character
So,
know?
what we know is from the flashback we had earlier, which you guys don't know yet, is she was gone for a very large period of time with the hooded man from the academy that you two know about. And
but we didn't know about that till after we came back.
We're talking about what you know right now.
Oh, okay.
And then
Wait. So Kolobati didn't mention anything about that necessarily.
I'm just building up a timeline.
No, that's gonna confuse us more because we're trying to figure out what our characters know versus what we know.
What your characters know is it's fine. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, you're trying to help it out.
Too, not
you. Yeah. So what your characters know, Kalina and Tinu, is that you, before heading out to Drakkenheim, you stopped back to see your father and your family because you hadn't heard from them in quite some time. You were worried something may have happened, considering what happened at Drakkenheim with the meteor. When you arrived and spoke with your dad, he told you guys that about a year prior, a black coach arrived outside of the Elvenmire, and they approached. This black coach had individuals, large and small, come to the home and take your guys' mother, mom.
Yeah.
So
but what?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So what you're now figuring out is prior to that happening, your dad, at least a year prior or so, your dad went to the Isles of Skye, apparently had a conversation with Kolobati here about your mother. So that's what you know. Also, additionally, I guess with the backstory too and everything else, you would know that your dad told you, when you guys arrived and spoke with your dad and your dad told you that your mother was missing, that these individuals with this black coach came from Drakkenheim. And so his assumption is that she has to be there somehow. Additionally, there was some conflict between your dad and your brother, in which your brother decided to leave to go find Mom by himself, and apparently ended up with the followers of the Falling Fire. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he went to go see Body about Mom, she was still at home.
Correct.
Yes.
So there's no point in him to be there. So I guess that's the point that Tina was trying to get to. Like, why is he there? Like, she's at home.
Okay, yeah. You're asking why did he go why did he go all the way to the Isles of Skye to talk with Kolobati? That's what you're asking.
Because at this point in time, Tinu is very suspicious of her dad. She hasn't outwardly said it to Kala yet, but it might about to happen right now. We're about to fight.
No. Right.
No.
So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to scene.
Go.
Yeah. So what was my dad doing there if my mom was at home? Why was he like...
I guess he wanted to know where she came from. And now that I see you and your sister, I guess the circumstances of your birth.
Why would that matter? Like, we're a family.
I said as much to him.
I turn to Kala and I say, I told you. I mean, I didn't tell you this, but I think Dad is doing something sus.
But
Where Mom came from?
and at that, I guess like Colobot, I guess, is like glancing at some of the shadows in the room because I know who's listening at the moment.
Dad kept saying something about this guy and a black cart from Drakkenheim, something about he's with the academy and magic.
He took her.
But why would, if he took her, listen, Kala, if he took her, why would Dad be going to see Body about this before she was taken?
I don't...
Dad knows something that we don't know. Either that or he's like lying to us.
He wouldn't lie to us.
He did lie to us. He lied to us to our faces that we had to go search Anar's room.
Okay, that sounded like he just wasn't sure he wanted us to leave.
Oh my gosh, no, Kala, he was lying. His eye was twitching. He was doing that weird thing where he just shuffles his feet. He wasn't being honest. And he wasn't even completely honest until he caught us in Anar's room.
He doesn't have any reason to lie to us. He hasn't done anything wrong. It sounds like he's just trying to find ways to help Mom.
I'm gonna ask out of character, ask the DM, growing up with my dad, would I have... Okay, so Tina is very, what is that word? I would think that Tina is very insightful. Would I have noticed my dad showing signs like that night, like how I did, where maybe he doesn't love us as much as he says he does? Like growing up, where he would always when he was always wondering oh, are those my kids? I would I have been... Do you want me to roll something for that?
Well, in your backstory, you would know that both of you have heard your parents arguing about probably this type of stuff.
Yeah.
Quite consistently. But you do also know that he's never treated you or your brother or your sister as he didn't care or not love you.
Okay, so then I don't. But I will say they used to argue all the time.
I mean, we don't look like either of them.
Well, Colobot is leaning there a moment and just she's just looking over their shoulder at one of the darkest and one of the, I guess, the deepest, darkest shadows in the room is can you say speak your mother's name out loud, please?
I have to look it up. Hold on.
Wait.
I'm so sorry.
You're asking
us for our mom's name, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mom is... Oh my gosh.
I don't remember Colin's mom's name. I remember Anna's mom's name.
It's Isilia Manel.
Isilia.
Yeah, Isilia Manel.
Yeah.
Oh no! What happened?
Yeah. I'm waiting to see this. I'm just waiting for this.
You guys see all of the doors in this room fly open.
What's going on?
What the fuck?
It just like in what is those movies? Paranormal Activity? Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Brent,
what the fuck?
I draw my pistol when it happens.
you take out your gun, yeah.
Yep.
Put that away, you're just going to make her angry.
Make who angry?
They're not already angry by slamming open all the damn doors?
I look a little worried, but I put my pistol back.
Is there a ghost here? I start to go into the corner. Is there a ghost in here?
Bobby will just to look at you almost over the rim of glasses, but not quite. You've seen me twice.
Oh, yes, but your ghosts are different than ghosts in a room.
I don't.
His ghosts are different than ghosts.
They're not here to haunt us like this one.
Well.
His ghosts help us fight and win. There's a difference.
And this one might help you in different ways. Either way, we should, I guess, be polite. I'm gonna look at Cold Body. I don't know that I'm out of my element here.
Yeah, just calm down and I guess so. She like reach into pull out a book from her pack and just like open to a page on it and just put it on the table. It's like if she wants to say something, she can write it down.
All right.
You're serious.
Well, I guess everyone gather in a circle and we ask our questions.
Kalino's like, wait a minute, you're serious.
We're doing like a cult circle.
Considering considering there's a cult literally next door,
Yeah.
Wait,
and,
so what do you?
It looks like, and she'll like pull out a pen and just held loosely between two fingers, and her hand is like just like hovering over the page, and she just closes her eyes.
You feel the pen almost like levitate in between both of your fingers, and if you let it go, it stays standing up.
Okay. And I'll just be there with my eyes closed, my hand just right there, just waiting, and just go right ahead.
Wait, I don't know what's going on. Go right ahead. Who are we talking to?
Hello there, spirit. You know or knew? Sorry, was it Iselia Manel?
Yeah, Iselia
Manel.
When you say the name, you see the pen suddenly move across the page. You begin to see that it draws what looks to be a female elven figure that roughly resembles maybe your mother, Tinu and Kalina, but it's ambiguous enough to not be sure. You see then the pen fly across and draw an exact duplicate of that same person.
I grip Kala. Wait, are you saying Mom was a twin?
You then see the pen make an X across one of these figures. Then begins to scribble all over it.
What?
You see the pen dig into the book and carve through several pages.
Wait, why are you so
You
angry?
begin to see pages fly out of the book.
Did she do something wrong?
All the papers fly across the room, land on the floor. And then the binding flies across the room like somebody grabbed it and threw it and slams against the wall, then slides down.
I'm sorry about your book, buddy.
And
Holy shit.
Buddy will just like open her eyes and just wipe some of the ink off her fingers. They'll give me another one by the morning.
Can you translate?
Well,
Was she a twin? What happened to her twin?
Well, nothing good by the looks of that.
as far as I'm aware, something really bad happened at the Inscrutable Tower.
The Inscrutable Tower?
What's that?
It's in Drakkenheim. It's the old it was the magical tower for the Amethyst Academy. It was their main place they gathered, did research until the meteor fell. Now no one can get to it.
Could that be where she is then?
Or maybe it's where that you said. Wait, hold on. You just told us. Well, hold on. Out of character. Did you tell us about the guy? Or was that in the?
Oh
argument?
yeah, we just told you guys right now.
You mentioned that a cloaked individual your father said was from the Amethyst Academy came for her.
Yeah, in a big dark carriage.
Are you? Why?
What do you mean why? We don't know.
Because if your mother, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why an Amethyst Academy could or maybe would find a person, and none of them are good. But if this is true, and what Kawaja said, your mother has someone who looks similar to her related to the Inscrutable Tower. So related to the Amethyst Academy.
Well, Dad did say that the guy said that she was his. What is that word, Brett? Not patron.
Ward, the other way around.
Ward, yeah. Dad did say he kept saying that she was his ward.
Maybe whatever that meant is what he was trying to protect you from. Looking at the X and the scribbled on the portrait.
Wait, so since Dad came to see you, did he know about? I point at the book on the ground. I don't even say.
Well, all that your father mentioned was that she was a prodigy and very magically gifted. And that someone important to her, who may or may not be alive, may know more information about her.
Was that the person that we just communicated with?
Yes.
Oh my god, it's been non-stop since we got here.
Well, Drakkenheim seems to be the places where mysteries go to for whatever fate they get.
Hey, that's quotable. I like that.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why, considering our conversation with River, we will definitely need information from the Academy if we're going to get inside the tower.
I don't want to talk about our family anymore. Louis, where are you from?
Hey, take some inspiration, both of you guys. Tinu, Kalina, for giving up some deets, making this interesting. But yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, lass, I'm from the Glimmer Mountains.
No.
Beyond that.
Damn.
What did you do in the Glitter Mountains, Louis?
Oh, it's fine. It's a Pathfinder, wagon master. Sold things for my clan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, things got hard with Drakkenheim. A lot of trade came from that way. So we traded in other things.
How do you know Alice?
Oh, Addie? Oh,
His sister raised me.
Aye.
What was that?
His sister raised me.
Oh, okay. That's.
Well, dwarves are kind of long-lived, and
like
Addie was only a wee lass, so 20 years to us is might be the time to her.
Yeah, she was the one who took care of the kids at House Jones.
wanted to get away from it.
There were... Wait, so how many kids were there?
I don't know. How many kids were there, Brett?
There were a bunch of them. You would know that, let me bring this up real quick.
Because you were saying sister, I thought it was my cousin that was in Drakkenheim.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
cousin, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there were still a bunch of other children, and let me see.
Well, through, in quotes, air quotes, mom, Joanna, how many siblings did I have, I guess?
I'm gonna say 7.
There were 7 others.
Yes. So, you would know that, Joanna was one of 3 wives, married to Prince Elector Jupiter Jones, and in combination, there were 7 kids.
Oh, yeah, she'd be like, there are 7 of us. Well, 7 of them, then me.
And you guys were all not princes and princesses?
I mean, they are.
You would know that generally that title is only reserved for somebody who's actually going to move into a position of, like, being a queen or a king. The other kids are just,
We're just nobles because Cassia gets ruled by whoever wins the king's moot. So it's not like my blood.
Got it.
So yeah, that's how I know Lulu here.
That's cool.
Yeah. Bati, are you able to talk to anybody who's died, or do you have to have something from them?
There's still some spirits I'm learning to make conversation with. There are a few which are a lot closer, but I may be able to, if you have an item of theirs.
Yeah, actually I do, and she'll reach into her pouch and pull out that brooch that Clara gave her. Brent. You know what I'm talking about?
Send me a message.
We never said what it looked like, so. Huh?
Let me see here.
She was told it was her mom's.
Yeah. All right, you pull out you pull out this brooch. You would know, Kolabadi, that this covenant is for Elven, for Elven kind. It's
yeah. Well,
she'll hand it over. I mean,
well, she'll look at it as like, maybe given time, I would be able to maybe see if I could speak with the spirit, but the ones closest to me are the of the elves. So she'll hand the bubble back.
Yeah, well, whenever you have time. I don't think, and she'll kind of like flick her round ears. Don't think that. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to ask this in front. No, Tina wouldn't ask that in front of everybody.
Well,
never mind.
Since we're talking about plans tomorrow, and I showed you all the note from Ryan, I do want to go speak with him to find out what he knows, and then we were talking about getting in with the hooded lanterns, and probably need to do that soon because otherwise they're gonna think I'm a spy, which I'm not. So, and she'll pull out the courier note that she found way back in the beginning.
Doesn't that say to kill you or something like that? Out of character. It says.
Yeah. It says pretty much that
I can show
put
it
it out.
to
I don't
everybody.
think it. Yeah.
If you want, okay.
Because she'll read it. She'll read it. She'll read it out loud. Because it's in Thieves' Can't.
Okay. And edits. There we go.
So.
Wait, so why do they want to get rid of you? What did they tell you? Or if you don't mind telling us, if you don't want to, it's okay, but...
Has anybody said they're with the Academy in this party at all? Or it's just you guys have talked about them?
We've talked about him, but I don't think anyone here is actually in the
Lauren
Academy.
has said he has been a part of the Academy, but he...
Or like worked with,
has gone to, but is not currently working with.
Well, I thought I was actually born into House Jones, but apparently I'm not. And somebody from the Academy, Murdoch Gray Sky, it was, when the Civil Wars were going really bad, especially back in Caspia, a lot of, because House Jones, the last queen of Drakkenheim, was from House Jones, was heavily involved in the wars. Right. So there's a lot of funerals, but yeah. You tell Alice is like really nervous and kind of looking over at Louis to see what he's doing.
With everything that we've learned tonight, I don't think we can get any more. I mean, with the amount of rocks we dropped in these ponds, I don't think we can get any more wet, so might as well. And either way, if that Orion guy comes around, we're still gonna get between him and you, so.
Well, I appreciate that.
Heidi.
I mean, might as well, right? Since we're all dumping and being trusting here. I mean, I don't even know. Anyways, so I was told that the Academy believes that the church originally took young members of the von Draken family after Albric died in the Caspian Wars. Worried about succession crisis and all that. And Academy and this Murdoch guy also told me that the church thought to protect the bloodline for their purposes, even though they weren't fully explained, and apparently I come from that bloodline.
Tinu says, is that why? And then she kind of points to the tree, trying to communicate with you based on our little communication we had without telling everybody.
No, that's more of, when you guys all heard Hopper saying that he was found transporting the blood and mine was marked. I don't know.
Why though?
Brent.
Well,
yes. Is there anything having been part of the Amethyst Academy, even if it was for training, is there anything can I roll like a history on this Murdoch character? Sure. Like there's any kind of like papers on his research or rumors about him in the Academy?
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. All right.
With a 10, yeah, you haven't.
Hold on. I'm curious. I'm gonna use my inspiration that I got. I don't. Well, fate is what it is.
Oh no! We are not meant to know tonight.
Fate decreed I would have a 10, and thus I must have a 10.
Yes.
All right. Well, continue then.
So, yeah, and I didn't really believe it at first. I just thought somebody was being crazy because, we all know what the Amethyst Academy's reputation is. So, especially with the church and the whole, Edicts of Lumen and all that fun stuff. But, then, some half-elf came to me, told me your name was Magdalena, saying she was representing the interests of Drakkenheim, and was boldly claiming in front of everybody that I might have a claim to the throne. That's what you have on my notes. I have them up, Brett. Correct me if I need to.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I would say, Torin, you do know that name, Magdalena. Your father spoke of this person quite often. You would know them to actually be the spy master of Drakkenheim.
You said Magdalena?
Yeah, half-elf woman.
Yeah, the half-elfin spy master of Drakkenheim, who served the courts of the royal family. She came to you and told you that and announced that you had a claim to the throne.
Oh shit! She's a princess.
She's a princess.
No.
Okay, we're not starting that again.
No. But so, and again, I thought somebody was just being crazy because, crazy times with the Civil War and everything going on. I already wasn't treated great, but after that, because Lady Joanna considers me mageborn and wanted to pretty much bear a child that House Jones could groom for taking over instead of me. And I ran. So that's why Ryan's probably not happy to see me, because he's got to know.
Is House Jones on the throne right now?
The last queen was from the last queen was from House Jones.
There's been connections of the royal family to House Jones. They provided a spouse into the family, but as far as anyone on the throne, there's nobody.
Wait, so why wouldn't they want?
The Von Draken line was taken out in the Civil War.
But why wouldn't they
was
want?
taken out 300-something years ago.
Why wouldn't they want you on the throne though? If you're part of House Jones.
Edicts of Lunan.
Because
and she'll
only someone who's not only someone who doesn't have magic can take the house of any house. Can take the seat of any house of nobility. Is it? Last time it happened, we had armies of mages trying to kill everybody.
But Alice wouldn't do that.
It's not Alice that the rules were made for. She's.
Okay, but if she's got a claim to the throne, shouldn't you just take it?
Running in the halls isn't a rule made for everybody.
This is the way the world is now?
It's the way the world's been for hundreds of years.
That's why I'm not really peculiar about aligning with the church and kind of looking at the falling fire, because they've been able to break away from the church and succeed and thrive, even in their own culty ways, as you all keep saying. But they've been able to do it.
Mad at Anar.
I mean, fair.
I just don't trust. I just not trusting the delirium aspect on this point.
Look. Wait, so it's the church trying to control House Jones to get rid of you?
The church has gained its power as a state religion through the family, so they've entwined themselves with the nobility.
Do you know?
Because that has allowed them authority.
A long time ago, very powerful people, very powerful magic, did a lot of bad shit, and consequently, I can't believe I'm saying that fucking word. Saint Tarna led a rebellion against that old empire. That is the foundations of the Edicts of Lumen, because what came after was the killing of folk like Ari, because they were afraid that another tyrant would rear their head and take over the land.
Okay, so what if
the guarantee that Mageborn can't gain high positions of power without being overlooked in some manner is, in some ways, helps us to not get witch hunted.
But do you even want the throne, Alice? Like, if you don't want the throne, then that shouldn't matter.
Do you think that someone who else also wants the throne would care? Considering the dream we saw of two people involved in it.
I mean, I think it's worth seeing if what I've been told is true.
Well, I think you're nice, so I'm on your side. Tinu's simple.
So, I mean,
Bonnie's just like, I think she's a stone cold bitch, but yeah, I wouldn't say you might see her on the throne.
She's nice to us.
Oh,
I've already announced my intention to beat up your family member for you, so I think my position's clear.
I know that she shouldn't go without saying.
Yeah,
and Addie's kind, but nobody here is allowed to talk about this outside this fucking room. You got me?
I mean,
obviously.
Nobody's
I would say the same for me as well. I mean,
talking about any of this outside the room, right?
Good.
That would be the hope.
So that's also why you might see me not use what little magic I have when other people are around.
We'll keep it all between us.
Yeah.
The ghost listening in and our friend in the basement.
Who is last question, I'm sorry. Who is for perfect?
That's the Hooded Lanterns.
Oh.
That's the
Yeah, the fourth
I know it's a long ass acronym. Yeah, what I was like.
I know.
That's the Hooded Lanterns, and I'm nervous about them just because I don't know if Orion said anything to them or.
Well, I'll say this: the Hooded Lanterns, and this may be involved with Magdalena. Situation's crazy, and they want some kind of restoration of the power structure.
Well, then we need to find.
You have, regardless.
I don't have any evidence.
Intent is going to be certainly, but it's different from me being a mageborn and being part of a family that I'm never going to be in charge of. They might want anybody. They might ask you.
I think we should go there second tomorrow after talking to that guy at the inn.
Yeah, but I'm not going to tell them tomorrow. I mean, they're not just going to. I mean, I can't be the only person who comes here. We're not going to tell
anybody immediately. Heck no.
No, I don't think you should tell them at all that you have magic. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, we don't want to, I don't think we just need to announce that he's got a claim because, like
yeah, at all.
It's just hearsay at this point.
People to come here say they've got a claim to the throne.
So, when we go, I mean, obviously the tower's somewhere we got to go, but eventually, when we start planning some dives into Drakkenheim to search for your mom, and we know Ron needs to go in for the crater.
Yeah.
I'd just like to add a few places possibly to him when we can get to him to start seeing if I can find anything.
Yeah.
Look, so to the tower for your mom and what Kolobody's looking for information for Alice, for my father and my family.
Oh, I want to get in the castle.
For the castle. For the crater for Ron, and for as much delirium as we can carry for Louis. I think we've got some goals. I think we know a bit more of what we're after now than when we started yesterday, huh?
So there is one more thing. I kind of look at Kala and I pull out my necklace.
This is why I don't want to leave the church, though, because you go ahead.
Okay, so I didn't know if you wanted to share. That's why I waited. Okay, so you know those dream things that Ron kind of does?
Right.
That used to happen to us before we got our powers, and there was like this entity that
it's the light. It's the
people keep telling us it has to do with the church, but I'm starting to think that it has nothing to do with the church. But it gave us these necklaces, and they help us with our powers. And you know how they were talking about the dreams and getting real things from the dreams, like what Louis said. So these necklaces, I think, came from a dream too. So I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might have a tie to that guy, or not the guy, but like that part of you, Ron. And I did kind of want to explore to see who gave us these necklaces, if it isn't the light from the church. I look at my sister and lift my eyebrow.
Because it looked like a light. It seems like a light. It can't be anything but the light. So.
And for clarification, what's at the end of this is like describe what it looks like.
Oh, so it's a rock that is shaped like a star, and it's like
it's all shiny and glowing.
Is it I don't know what we decided it was. I think it's like opal. Is it opal or was it something else?
It was like an opal type stone, so it's all shiny and pretty.
And we have some in real life, so I can send a picture. But yeah. So we had the stone, and then we made it into necklaces, and that's. But I think it might have, because Ron in dreams can't you if you were in control of the dream and you wanted to be like, let's say, Kolobati, can't you change yourself into Kolobati if you're in charge of the dream?
So there is a difference between a dream and what Zoya was talking about with the Fanzuk, which is the actual dream world. So it's what happened with Louis, from what she was telling us, is an extremely rare occasion where he was able to cross the veils during his dream and retain something on the other side. So, which sounds like what you did. As far as controlling dreams, the easiest way I can put it with, my knowledge and experience is, one, to control, you need somebody that's extremely adept in doing it. And at this point, unfortunately, I am not. I can run the basics, I can get us into a dream, navigate and pull people out, things like that.
But if it was somebody like your clan leader,
he had the power to control on the level you're talking about. From my remembrance, but
and that's a holy power.
It's not a holy power. It's, I guess divine intervention in the dream world can, cross the planes. So, if your necklaces are, a result of, divine interference, then absolutely, that can pierce the veil. But as far as everything else is concerned, I don't have that ability. There's different stages. Think about it like casting cure wounds per se. Yeah, you can cast at a first level. Then you cast at a second level. Hang on, sorry guys.
It's getting ice right behind him.
So as you cast it, there's different things you can do, and until I kind of master the first stage, I can't say how much I can do in the other stages yet.
But there's a possibility that it could have been somebody like that. Kala, I'm so sorry that I'm tearing down all your beliefs right now in this room, but you can't tell me that you haven't been thinking about these things since we got here. With as many things as we've run into.
It seems like it's possible, but everything we learned can't be wrong.
So, yeah, to give you an idea. So, you have a very basic level, which is, you know, a memory chosen by the guide. You know, that could be somebody, like, let's say what I was talking about with Laucian. You know, him and I could guide, you know, anybody else that's partaking through that memory. You know,
actually,
anything...
let me pause you there for a second.
Okay.
Do you want me to bring you to a page you can draw on?
I'm actually on it. The roaming mechanics.
I know you're on that document, but to show people like kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let me take you guys to the table here, and
drawing class.
Because
let's
sometimes,
go.
like, you know, I mean, an image is or drawing is better than, you know, whatever.
Visuals.
Yeah,
yes.
my brain is hurting a little bit.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of we are lore dumping each other right now.
True, I know. I know it's a lot. But actually, you know, I'm not mad that it's a lot. It's like it is what it is, you know. So
it's
very good timing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm certainly enjoying the lore dumps. It's just a lot. It's a lot to keep up with.
I'll say to A, anybody watching a stream in the future, if you run in this book, I've even seen this on Reddit. Like, get a note taker. Like, somebody keep up with the shit. But anyway, yeah, you can use the pen.
I can share it with you, Brent. The notes.
You guys' notes? Oh, yeah. Like, you guys should have I can make a notes channel, but no, I have it. DoD PC notes. Yeah.
I think Brent was saying, like, as a DM, you need a note taker. Like, that's how much information there is.
No, right? As a player, you need a fucking note taker for this shit. Like,
that's why we have recordings.
True, but like this. There's a lot of shit going on here that you probably want to like note some stuff. But anyway, you can use the pen here in Roll20 to draw on this sheet of paper here. Like you should be able to just there I drew on it.
Yeah, you did. Let me.
Okay, there you go.
No, that's me at the bottom. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, that wasn't me. Maybe?
You click
it was.
freehand, yeah.
Yep.
I'm just deleting these lines. Okay, there you go.
No, you're fine. So, alrighty. So think of it as 3 stages of dreaming. There you go. All right. So
light sleep, deep sleep, REM. Yes.
Essentially, yes. So the first stage is memory. So the first stage is memory, where, you know, you can go into somebody's actual memory and explore, which is what happened with the one guy. You know, and you can revisit, you know, what happens. And even though we're able to intervene in situations during that memory, it's not going to affect the memory or the past situation. It's already happened.
We saw what he was doing, but we didn't actually stop any of the lives that were taken that night.
So, and then, hang on 1 second. Okay, I'm reading, sorry. Okay.
No, I'm laughing at, I just saw the message you sent me, Dice.
So, and then second is, instead of being more of a third person looking at it, we're looking and feeling as the person did themselves during the situation. So instead of just having a bird's eye view and just watching what's going on, you know, we actually are following through the person's eyes and working as them in a sense. So in a state. So, then the third person is where, or the what's termed as lucid. We are actually the person in that memory. So, second one is we're experiencing it as they experienced it, but we're still our own entities. Whereas in the third state, we're the actual person. If that makes sense.
So the train was number 2 then, right? Is what you're saying.
Well, the issue with the train is we as a group, or you guys as a group, didn't know that you were a part of it. And although that I did, you weren't experiencing what the other person was feeling, so to speak. You weren't capitalizing on his emotions, his thoughts, his expressions. You guys were strictly we were all in the memory itself, and that was it. So I would put it more as like a first, especially since the guy, when we all woke up, the guy was wide awake and then hopped off the cart and left. So the first one was a very peculiar situation because I didn't pull us in the dream. We all did. Or old Zoya, her thoughts were that possibly even Haas pulled us all in for some reason. And if we do find that guy again, if possible, we need to get to him.
So, what about the guy that's walking in the dreams? The bad guy?
What do you mean?
I think he's just talking about
your leader?
Old leader.
Because he got sucked into the dream and he's walking in the dream, right? That's how I understood it. I wasn't...
So, if you're familiar with the idea of astral projection, so think about it as his soul left his body and got stuck there. And his body became an agent of the Makir. Whatever dark force this is in Drakkenheim and in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So his astral soul was pulled into the Fansuk, and I don't know if it's good or bad. The thought is that it's more than likely bad, and Zoya's suggestion is we're probably going to have to kill whatever portion of his soul's there because it might be corrupt. But
okay.
Him being who he is, I don't know if that's something I'm ready to do yet. I don't think any of us would be, to be completely honest. But he's the one that used to be able to bring all of our clan into the dream world, and we would spend months to years in there building essentially our utopia. And right before the meteor hit, everybody was taken, and he saved me, got me out, and sacrificed himself.
So as a general note, let me say that anybody who's trained in Arcana, if you're not, don't worry about it, but if you're trained in Arcana, you would know that this dreams and stuff that Ron is talking to you guys about, there is, at least according to lore, knowledge, and those who've deal with Arcana and stuff, that there is a quote-unquote plane of existence called Dreamland, per se. That this is an actual a planar area that the mind can access. It's not necessarily just like some unreal abstraction, I guess. That's all I was saying. So.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think you had old Zoya explain a good bit of that part too when she was talking about how he's stuck in that plane of existence.
Yes.
So comparing it to like the Feywild, the planes are, in a sense, merging from whatever's tearing up this world.
Exactly. But okay, we're reaching the end of our session here, and what I want to know though is that you guys had a lot of stuff to talk about, and obviously there's a lot of shit going on here for each of you guys individual characters and in said world, and I mean, if you're a completionist, I guess by I don't know the end of this or towards the middle of this, I'm confident you'll be able to put a lot of these pieces together. But right now, I think it's perfectly normal to have like a lot more questions and not enough answers to those questions.
I'm doing mental cartwheels. I bet you did mental cartwheels for months coming up with this.
How the hell did you put these together?
It took a. Well, hey, the dungeon dudes who wrote these, I've read these books like 3 times probably back to back. So that's the only. It's like. Look,
there's a reason there's a bit of a delay between last campaign and this one.
Yeah, 100. Now you're seeing why. Yeah. But anyway, so I don't want to rush this roleplay session. We can continue it next session, but I do want to have like kind of an idea of. As a group, you're talking about all these different things, your personal goals, the world around you, some history. But I do want to know that in the context of all of this stuff, like, what's the plan for you guys?
I just posted taking notes from the conversation everyone has had. So obviously, anybody in the party, correct me if I missed anything. But from what I was seeing, we were talking about meeting with Orion in the morning. And then going to the Hooded Lanterns to deliver some delirium, and then we have like a good bit of the day. I think was just going to be like selling our stuff too and figuring that out. And then we wanted to do open mic night and meet with Lucian to dream dive. That's kind of like our itinerary for tomorrow. Or what do I need to change?
There's another stop at the Red Lion Hotel because that's where River is.
And
we want to sell the painting.
Okay.
Sell the painting to the proprietor.
Got
and sell some delirium to River.
Okay.
The academy.
Cell painting.
The academy.
Got it. So deal with Orion Jones, then also make contact with the Amethyst Academy with this delirium and maybe parlay with them to see if it can further any of you guys' personal goals.
Parlay with the Hooded Lanterns for other possible personal goals.
After that, the Hooded Lanterns. Yep.
We'll see if there's any other things we can do in the meantime, but the evening would be going into the open mic night to have for our reserved seat. And then afterwards, we will try to. Lucian was Lucian part of Free Lunch? He was one of the ones today.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and
we'll see if he's back, and if he is, we will try to see if Dream Dive because. Well, I mean, last we saw him, it was not a good situation. So let's hope for the best.
Yes. So, okay, got it. All right, that's
all right. You want me to post that in PC notes?
Yeah, just so people can remember. But yeah, so yeah, we're reaching, I mean, the point of this game where like it's kind of open-ended on how you guys tackle all the. I don't have I can't really tell you guys what to do next.
We at least have a plan, and we'll see if anything else comes up while we do that said plan.
Yes, and I think that once again, because I beginning of next session, I'm gonna touch base with a couple people about maybe doing once again another flashback. So we'll see. But let's but I think this is a good place to stop. You guys are resting for you guys continue your conversation. But before we do end though, I do want Kolobati. Roll me a d6.
Okay.
And do Kaylee and I get a check mark for learning that our mom's in the tower?
Well, we think she is.
You guys,
Yeah.
well, no, yeah, because that's what you think. But
you know.
But we know the
says-
twin.
You know, you did learn of. They did learn about the twin.
I
or the
will
other
give
girl.
one of you a check mark for that.
Oh, that's
You know what? She's related to the Inscrutable Tower. You don't know anything more than that.
Yeah, I will give one for. I do think that it was substantial to learn that there seems to be some other individual associated with your mother, maybe a twin or maybe somebody else entirely. I think that's a substantial thing. I'll give one for that. And bada boop. And
Oof, that was creepy.
That was great. I loved it. I was like,
Well, like I said in the other chat, like I'm sure Botsy's gonna be doing quite a few auto seances during this game.
We found a trinket belonging to a person. You think you can?
I don't think it works like that, does it?
You never know.
Probably.
Maybe yes, maybe no. It depends
We'll
on
find out.
origin
find out what
and,
happens. Yeah.
and whenever I get the speak with dead spell.
Pretty much, yeah. I was gonna say, like, yeah. It's like at this point, it's like, mechanics. Yeah. Do you have that spell? But I really enjoyed listening to you guys and down here, like, throw ideas around and cautiously open yourselves up to each other about like what is going on and feeling each other out, and also trying to go ahead and glean some information about your personal situations. I thought that was excellent. So I liked this role play session. I think next session is also going to be a role play session, but I think you guys are going to probably have some objectives by the end of that. And yes, so we did it, guys. Yay. Another session down. 14.
And my roll was a 4.
Gotcha. You're fine.
Woohoo!
Good.
I will say this much. Whenever you do sleep, you wake up in cold sweat and coughing a bit, but
That's so creepy. I would not want to live my life like that. What the hell?
it's
I
because
love all these characters.
Look, Kolobody always has friends, so.
Ugh, no, thank you.
I'm waiting for Body to pull out like the Drakkenheim version of a Ouija board.
I mean,
Yeah.
We had one last campaign.
I was thinking about that last time. I was like, when
not
I'm
again.
not bringing out the Ouija board. You guys didn't even use the Ouija board half the
We
time.
did use it. We fucking used it. And Cade's fucking soul was like, "I'm gonna come get you. I'm gonna kill
He
you."
used it. He got commandeered by a very
Holy
angry man
shit.
who wanted to kill one of the PCs.
True.
Hey, that's what I was doing, like the older version of that, which is just putting a pen loosely in my hand and holding it over a piece of paper.
So
Yes.
yeah,
Oh my
great.
god.
That was
Technically,
great.
yeah.
Oh, and also, I'm sorry. Let's settle up what your friends are doing when you do wake up, Kolobody. So roll me another D6.
D4.
Yeah, a D4. Excuse me. Gotcha.
Your friends. They're not your friends. They're haunting you.
Friends on the other side.
And oops.
Yeah, pulling that up now. She hasn't shown up yet.
True. All right. Excellent. Okay. Bet. And we will return to that next session. But all right, I'm ending the stream and holla at you, boy. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, all that good stuff.
Bye.
Next
See you next
time.
week.
Carl's like playing a mini game inside D&D. Oh no.